about. I'm like, hey,
Did he
man.
wanted you to come back?
No.
Yo, because I know he got some clips of you commentating, and I know they uber funny.
I wish I took some pictures.
You just took the pictures. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on. I'll run it back. Hold on a sec.
You're supposed to take a little bit more than that. Yeah, while he's queuing up whatever the hell he's looking for. I guess it's his commentary reel. It's about to premiere to you guys live.
That's right. We are talking about commentary, right?
Yeah. Welcome everybody to, I believe this is week 5 of the Crash Net podcast. Well, this is episode 4. We started on 0, so technically it's the 5th episode.
3.5.
This is episode 4. I didn't count the pilot because that could have been a one and done occasion, but obviously it's not because we are still here. Another Wednesday, another week now. More news, more topics to discuss as we move forward. So, like we do with every show, we can go ahead and get it started with a little weekend recap for everybody. How's everybody doing this evening in particular, though?
I'm ecstatic. I got all my stuff for Japan ready. Like,
damn.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We just a month. Today is actually a month away. This is actually a month.
Like exactly.
Yeah, today I leave April 27th for Japan next month.
And you're going to KSB, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're doing KSB. That's
doing KSB, and then like I'm going for 2 weeks. So the first week is like fuck around KSB. Then the extra week is like fuck around till I leave.
I'll see you there, bud.
I'll see you in the brackets as usual.
Yep.
I legit do have 2 weeks of vacation unused. Like I could literally pull a rabbit out of my head and be like, yeah, Japan. But that's OD because yeah, I spent way too much money this weekend. Like, spent way too much, yo. Like I said, for me, I guess I'm gonna go in reverse. So I'll start from Sunday to Saturday. So like I said, I spent way too much money this weekend. I broke down and I bought this crazy ass camera, and I'm about to start getting into like photography and videography. I think it's called.
That's actually what I'm about to do when I get back. So, what is that? Compact SLR?
It's a Sony A6400.
Yeah, pretty godlike.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually about to do the same thing. I kind of wanted to do it before going to Japan, but I mean, I'm not balling like some people out here. So
I don't know, man. You are balling.
Nah, this is light work, dog. Cause
that's pretty. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like I think this lens is like 500.
Yeah, but, the lens is probably the big boy.
Yeah, like ridiculous. Their lens is for like $1,000. Man.
Yeah. Honestly, the lens is what costs the most.
Yeah,
when it comes to the camera.
Costs more than the camera.
Yeah, the base is obviously the cheapest part out of those two, but the lens is definitely where you're gonna start talking about actual money.
Yeah, the camera was $1,000. The fucking lens was like, I want to say like 400, and then it's like batteries and shit, and yeah, I've been doing a lot of camera stuff.
Yeah, I only know because I worked in the camera department like my last stint at Best Buy, and that's where actually I got really interested in photography, and I'm like, oh shit, I should really look into doing this more.
Yeah, I feel you, but like I think I'm gonna start vlogging and like taking pictures at like events and shit and stuff like that. So I'm gonna start getting into that. So that was my Sunday. My Sunday was spent on like camera shit, like all Sunday. And then like Saturday was like whatever. I think I just like watched Game of Thrones all day. And then Friday, me and EJ, we saw Us. We actually went out. We saw the movie.
Thoughts?
I liked it.
I'd watch it.
I like it. Yeah. I like that movie. I know it's getting mixed reviews. Like there are people that are like, this movie is stupid. There are people that are like, I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on. And there are people that like really like the film.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people are very confused on what it is, and I'm just kind of like it. In my mindset as a black person, I'm like, yeah, I assume you probably wouldn't. The typical black person probably wouldn't get it,
right?
But they probably have to watch it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. It is one of those films where like the more you watch it, the more it like not only answers questions but raises new questions and stuff. Like there's a lot of shit going on in that movie, like with the undertones and stuff. But I think after this film, we can officially say that Jordan Peele is like the millennials version of M. Night Shyamalan, like before he got bad. Like,
Yeah.
I can honestly probably say that, and I feel like a lot of other people are bashing the film because they're comparing it to Get Out, and it's not.
I can see
it's,
that.
Yeah, it's not Get Out. Like, don't compare the two. Like, everybody that asked me, they're like, "Yeah, you saw Us, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I saw Us," and they're like, "Yo, is it better than Get Out?" And I was like, I can't. Like, they're two totally different. Like, there's nothing relatable about the films at all. Like, two totally different films. Yeah, man, like, I don't know. EJ can probably give you like how he felt about the film. Like, that's how I feel about it. Like, I felt like it was good.
So after it was done, I couldn't get up out of my seat because I was so fucking confused. But after like getting up and realizing like a whole bunch of plot points, it just made it so much better. Like it was worth it. It makes you think. I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where like you see the movie and then like after the movie's done, you talk about it for like an hour or 2 hours. Like, it's one of those. Any movie that does that to you is a good movie.
Sounds like a good movie.
Yeah, you know, like
You
I
still
wouldn't.
talking about it.
Right. Like, I wouldn't give it like an Oscar. It wasn't like OD, but like it's entertaining, and that's the purpose of like films, like in movies and stuff. So it served its purpose. So I could definitely say I didn't waste money. EJ didn't waste money.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time, I guess.
Yeah, tell us about your weekend, Nick.
I went. Oh, I didn't do that this weekend. Wait, did I? Damn, I don't know what I did this weekend. I know I went and watched Shazam.
Oh, how was that? Yeah, I skipped out on that
that's
because
all right. So official Nick rating, I give it a very soft 7.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it's not terrible. It's really well put together visually, and you know, the music score is great. The story, I mean, if you don't know like who Shazam is, it's kind of like they just kind of dump you into it. They're just like, hey, Billy's Shazam now, and you just go from there. But the rest of the movie was pretty good. But
So no origin story, pretty much.
it'd be nice if they did like more backstory for it, because they kind of were just like, hey, here's Billy Batson,
Right.
little white kid.
Yeah, that's
Billy, grip the staff. Now you're Shazam, and that's all it was. And he's just like, I'm Shazam now. I got powers. It just didn't. It just went from like nothing to everything. I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Story plot.
I've noticed that with like a lot of superhero films now, because a lot of them are getting bashed for doing origin stories. A lot of the newer ones that are introducing new characters are avoiding the whole origin story thing. They're kind of like, here's the character, you know what they do. When it's like you got obscure characters like Shazam and Captain Marvel that people did not grow up with, and they're just like, well, this is who they are, here you go. I can't really critique Captain Marvel like that because it kind of was an origin story, but it was done like Memento, so it was kind of weird. It was like a film in reverse almost. But for like instance, Spider-Man: Homecoming, he was just like, yeah, he's Spider-Man. Like, you know what I mean? Like it literally did that. Like, it wasn't a bad thing for that film, but I noticed a lot of superhero films now are doing origin stories, but not doing origin stories. Just like, yeah, this is Black Panther, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
But other than that, it was pretty good. Soft 7. I'd probably see it again.
Okay.
But it comes out in what, like 2.5 weeks or something like that.
Oh, it's not out yet.
No, I got to see it with a pre-screening.
I think the last time I got one of those was when one of the Transformers movies came out, and then I never did it again.
Yeah, freaking Jabali was just like, hey, they got pre-screenings. So I was like, oh man, shit, I'll look. And there was one at like Tyson's, and I was like, oh fuck it. And I didn't have to pay for it because I had that AMC Plus shit, the get 3 movies or whatever for free.
Right. The A-list.
Yeah, so I was just like, let me type that in, and I got it for free. So
Yeah,
shouts to me, I guess.
That's what's up.
Other than that, nothing else this weekend. Been a very boring weekend, I guess.
Yeah, Toshinsai was this weekend. Did anybody watch Toshinsai?
Bits and pieces. I actually went back and watched top 4 of BB. I saw a lot of the top 4s. I saw top 4 for Wagner Midnight, which was pretty godlike actually.
That was awesome.
That was actually really godlike. I wasn't expecting that. I saw top 4 for that Dragon Ball arcade game, and
I think that's when I stopped watching. Cause,
yeah,
I think
that actually wasn't bad.
I think it was SNK Heroines, and then they went into the Dragon Ball joint.
So yeah,
And,
so no, Dragon
yeah.
Ball was Saturday.
Oh, okay. I was
SNK
watching,
Heroines was Friday. SNK Heroines we were like me and a few other guys that versus were watching SNK Heroines as we were about to leave. It were kind of like up on we have like projector we were watching it on, and we're just like, yo, these matches are going by mad fast. We're just realizing how quick the 2 out of 3 like tournament setting was. I was like, yo, like more games need this. Like this is kind of wild. But yeah, I didn't really get to see SNK Heroines too much. I haven't really been playing. I haven't played that game in like who knows how long. But yeah, it's that was on.
Yeah, I literally like came in on watching SNK Heroines, and then like after that, I believe it was Dissidia, and then it was like BB, and I was like tallying in my brain, and I was like, by the time this shit is done and BB gets on, it's gonna be like 7 a.m. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah,
like,
I just watched the VODs on J-Yuna's what I think is YouTube or his Twitch or whatever.
Well, I know on his Twitch he separated them. So like,
okay,
shout
so
out,
yeah, it was
shout out to
YouTube,
J-Yuna for that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, you can go for each game and all that. Because, like, when they were doing Dissidia, I was like, this shit's about to take forever, bro.
Yeah.
Like, high-level Dissidia takes a long time.
I imagine.
Like,
it actually goes super fucking slow.
Yeah, people it takes a long time, man.
People actually use their brain.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. But then, yeah, after that, I, like, kind of gave up on it. And I was like, I don't expect them to do any type of, like, crazy announcement or anything like that. And it's like, we really didn't get anything out of Toshensai outside of, like, Atlas with the Persona announcement for the next RPG.
Xenos.
You know?
I actually watched the bit of Xenos.
Yeah, and, we did. We did get an announcement for Xenos. My thoughts, he doesn't play like how I thought they would make him.
What is his class? Is he a Vanguard or?
He's a Vanguard.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he's a Vanguard. Like I figured he'd be a Vanguard, but like the way they introduced the like sword stances and shit is kind of like he seems like heavier lightning. That's what it looks like to me.
He's a lesser Onion Knight.
Yeah, it's like heavier. But the thing about him is you can control it. Whereas like Onion Knight, that shit like you know what I mean? It's like a fucking mini game like inside the character, yo.
I enjoyed it. I love that feature. That's just hilarious.
But they've already got a character primer up, like describing his character and all that. I could probably link it in the chat if I wasn't so lazy. But yeah, if you're excited for Xenos, you know, drop ones in the chat, I suppose. I'll probably try him out, but it's like as many things as they could announce for Dissidia, like if they could fix the damn netcode, bro. Like that's all I'm at. Like I don't like
yo.
Right, you know?
So I literally asked my friend because he plays on both PC and PS4, and I was like, "Yo, what's the PC netcode looking like?" He's like, "It's unstable. It's even worse than PS4." I was like, "Yo, what?"
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, just like for right now, just playing on PS4. I'm like, well, I guess I'm glad I got the PS4 version. Damn.
Yeah, that's like the biggest gripe for me with that game. It's just like the netcode, man.
That's
like,
everyone's gripe.
Be better. Because they could put anybody in the game, dog. They could legit be like, yeah, tomorrow we're putting Arn in that joint. And, like, everybody's going to want to play Arn, but they're not going to have to deal with that laggy shit. Like, you know what I mean? That's my thing. Also, news. They got an arcade release date for the BB Tag patch. So it's coming out mid-April.
May.
Well, nah, that's console.
Oh.
Yeah, arcade, they're getting it mid-April. And then it's like mid-May for console. I'm expecting it to be literally the weekend right before Combo Breaker.
That's what most people are pretty much saying.
Mm-hmm. It's
that's
like
pretty much sure.
This conversation right here is legit going to lead us into our first segment.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to drop that week right before or the week of Combo Breaker. And they haven't really announced any price sets or anything for it, so we're not sure if it's a thing. They have said that the actual balance changes and patch itself is free, so they've said that. So you're not gonna have to buy DLC just for the patch or buy a disc or whatever. It's gonna be with it. Now, what they haven't clarified is if you're gonna have to pay for the characters. The way they're talking about it, they're really vague. They make it seem like you get the patch and the characters for free, But I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Because even the character packs for the 3 characters when they were doing it before, I believe it was like $5 a pack.
So
So-
here's who I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna let you have Teddy, Seth, and who's the other? Naruto free,
Naruto,
right?
and then you
But
have
you
to
got
buy
to pay for it.
Heart.
You're gonna buy Heart. That's what I would say is probably, if anything.
That's OD.
I can see that.
That is really OD. You have to pay for one character. That'd be really petty.
That would be.
It's looking like tearing me all over again.
Yeah, I think I got him for free though. I want to say I did.
If you pre-ordered or whatever,
Yeah.
they sent you the code for it.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I didn't pay for him.
I mean, that's how I got it.
Yeah, I didn't pay for him, and then I believe we all had to pay for Kokonoe, and we had to pay 2 types of ways, both with our physical money and with our emotions. Yo, CP 1.0 was kind of fucked up. Like when you sit back and think
That
about
was a
it.
wild
That
game,
was-
right?
that was
Let's
a-
not go back to that.
That was a pretty bad practice.
I actually had to sit and talk. I talked with Rem last night about that. I was like, you have to understand. I was like, I've been playing this game for a long time now. I was
Yeah.
like, you don't understand what it was like with 1.0 Kokonoe. That was fucking terrible.
That shit was OD.
When everybody apparently was good.
Yeah, everybody had a pocket Kokonoe because it's like, you had to pay the cost to be the boss. You know? I legit played the character for the first week when she came out, and I realized all the dumb shit she could do, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, and then everybody started doing it.
You're like, damn, I should have done this.
Nah, it was that shit was legit
Nah, it
cancer,
was-
man.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Like everybody was playing Kokonoe. If they didn't play Kokonoe, they had a Kokonoe.
How do
If
we
they didn't
have-
have a Kokonoe, they had a button just to use for Kokonoe.
Right, it's like we got a non-puppet or bug character with guard bonus strings. She had infinite block strings.
Yeah.
Like what? Into
Infinite block strings,
unblockables. Into
blockables.
unblockables. Like, oh man. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. That I can go on forever about how stupid that version was. But like, it's whatever. Alright, but anyway. Like I said, that would segue us into our first segment for today. Let me bring up my little segment list. Okay, yeah. So, as I was saying, with the BB Tag patch, it's probably more than likely going to drop the week of or the week before Combo Breaker. If you remember back, I believe 2 CEO Takus ago, when CF first came out. Like, CF first dropped, the game dropped, I want to say a week before CEO Taku, the week of, and Jabali basically posted to the masses and was like, alright, do you guys want to run CPEX or do you guys want to run CF? And he left it to the community, and the community by landslide chose to play CF. There are a number of reasons for that we could probably talk about in the discussion, but that's not that important at the moment. But basically the question I have to start this topic off is let's say that a new game comes out tomorrow. Let's say that they actually release P5A, Persona 5 Arena comes out. Well, actually, no. Let's say it already came out. Let's say Persona 5 Arena came out a month ago. And we have a major tournament this weekend. It's Wednesday now. And there was a major game-altering, game-balancing patch that came out tonight. So you've got 2 days until the major tournament. Do you think that the tournament should run the unpatched version or the patched version? How do you guys feel about that?
So
Run the patch.
I would say don't run the patch, but I'm gonna throw a curveball in here, and this actually kind of does tie in with Combo Breaker, because Combo Breaker is not part of the Arc Revo tour. So
Ooh.
in this case, I would run the patch because it's like it's not really affecting anyone.
Is BB
And-
Tag a main game at Combo Breaker?
Yes.
And CF is a side game?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So in this situation, I actually would run the patch because most people are pretty much going to want to play the new characters. They want the balance patch anyway. Will it make a big of a difference? Not really. But I mean, if people want to play the new characters, they want to run the new patch and make it feel like it's going to make a big deal, just run the patch. I mean, generally, most people will say no because you don't have enough time to really practice and prep for all the changes that happen. But I mean, if it's not a main Arc Revo game, I mean, I'll just go ahead and just patch it. If Combo Breaker was an Arc Revo qualifier, then yeah, I would say unpatch. But I mean, it's not an Arc Revo qualifier. Just patch it. Like, we're not really missing anything.
Another example I can use with that is so as bad as it was when Battle of the Stones happened with MVCI, Capcom released a major patch for the game like a week before that tournament, but Battle of the Stones was played on the previous version. They didn't play the patch version. Me personally, my opinion on it, if a patch were to come out for a game that I've been training up for a major tournament for over 3 or 4 months for, I'm gonna want to play that shit unpatched. Period. Because who knows what could be in that patch that could be detrimental to the stuff you practice. Like, hell, all the stuff you practice might not even be in the game anymore. You know what I mean? So it's a waste of time.
I'm not a big fan. I wasn't a fan of this back when Arc Revo Tour got announced because I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of mid-season patches or midway patches when you have a tour going on. Like, I feel like if you're going to do a midway patch, either you weren't prepared for this tour or you weren't prepared for anything pertaining to what's going to happen. Because I mean, now, like in this situation, like, yo, even though this isn't part of the Arc Revo qualifier, let's say it is. Now you gotta make the decision. You gotta make the hard call of do you run the patches where literally people who haven't played the game are going to basically go to Combo Breaker and they're going to play. They play maybe like a few days, if that, probably amounting to like an hour or two of a new patch, as opposed to playing the old patch where everyone's obviously already familiar, knows what to do, knows what's going on, and they don't have to worry about the patch until the actual next big tournament. Like, as a pro player, I'd be kind of pissed because now you don't know what you're going into. You don't know what quick gimmicky stuff people are going to go into after a few days of playing, going into tournament with that. And you're just like, yo, like, I don't know what's going on. My old stuff don't work. I'm not prepped. So you're kind of everyone's handicapped except for the people who get away with the gimmicks that work, and that could be anybody. So now it's anybody's game.
It is like, I feel like the developers should have a little bit more courtesy, especially because they're the ones throwing these events in the first place. Like, ArcSys is behind the Arc Revo Tour. Capcom is behind the Capcom Pro Tour. I would imagine that from a logistical standpoint, if they're keeping their tour in mind when they're releasing these type of hot swaps and such, they would try to release it where there's probably the most amount of time frame in between that and the next event. I would imagine like they would think about that. But then again, I can't give these developers too much credit because I have another segment where we're really going to bash on developers tonight. So, we're going to wait on that. But I'm trying to think. There was a period of time when they actually had a rule for it. I want to say it was back in the Street Fighter 4 era where there was like, if a patch came out, there was a 2-week cooldown before you can do it.
Still there.
And it was the same thing with like DLC characters. I forget what Evo it was, but I believe there was a group of DLC characters that were banned. And
I think it was Ultra. I think it was going into Ultra because that was a big thing. They were like, do we run Ultra or do we run AE 2012? And like people were like, they wanted to run Ultra because Ultra was new, and people figure like, you got a month time to train, and everybody wants to play Ultra anyway. They want to play new characters, so like they were like, yeah, run Ultra. And then Wizard just ended up saying that they were going to do. They switched over from doing AE 2012 to Ultra.
Yeah, I think it's time to offend some people. So when they do this, right, and they announce these patches and they give a decision to the players to either run the patch or the unpatched version, I kind of feel like the simps, the normies, the people that aren't that great at the game are all for running the patch, and the people that actually pour their heart and soul into it 9 times out of 10 are leaning more towards playing the unpatched version of the game. So it's like I get why people want to play something new and shiny. But it's like, if you're doing that, like if you're honestly thinking that type of thought process, you really don't care about the game or your placement as much as I would have thought. Because like there's so much of a detriment that can happen from making a decision like that. Like I just see so much negative to it more than positive. It's like the upside to it is cool. You get to play a new game like now, and you get matchup experience, I guess. But it's like irrelevant because it's fucking week 1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense to me. You're not really going to learn that much through tournament play with a game or a patch that dropped like a night or 2 nights before that tournament. You're not going to really get that much out of it.
It's not really a tournament then.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of like a carnival.
Mm-hmm.
It's low key like a party.
You mean like Evo 2008 BB tag, right? Yeah. Oh my bad. All right, yeah. You mean like how Samurai Showdown's gonna be this year, right?
I don't even want to
2019,
talk about
right?
that.
I love Samurai
what-
Showdown, but come on.
What's this? Oh, man,
Come on. I love
man,
Samurai Showdown. But come on.
I'm really dumbfounded by that. There's so much, like, so many other games that could have been put in that fucking slot, and Samurai Showdown. There's no knock to Samurai Showdown. Like, do them. You know, good shit to SNK. But they're like established games that are like out that could have had. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I gotta sympathize for the Melee kids. I gotta sympathize with them to know
About
that.
to summon Savory.
Yeah, to know that Samurai Showdown is in their spot. I don't know, but yeah. Me personally, I'm about unpatched, man. I know a lot of people when it happened at CEO when they ran CF instead of CPEX. I remember Mike was sick about it. He was really mad because he was like he had actually devoted time to like his execution and shit like that and getting all this stuff straight. And then they were like, yeah, CF.
Hey, what you're telling me is
That was a great time.
What you're telling me is he didn't have the CF. He didn't have the CF. He didn't have CF. He just had
The nooch.
CPEX.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like.
Pretty much. I mean, shit. That I had to play a whole nother character. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like, I wasn't tripping, but at the
I
same
had to
time, it's
I had
like,
to downgrade too.
yeah, it's
so.
like, you know, I can understand why people would be upset about it. That's the way I look at it from a competition standpoint. I feel like it's bad practice to do that
I can agree with that, despite me being all about CF.
because
I
it's
mean, I can agree with that.
like putting it in another tense is like us having the Olympics and literally like the night before the opening ceremonies for like the shot put, we change a major rule about it. We're like, yeah, you're only allowed to take one step now after you spin. And it's just like, what?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me I've been training my whole life for this, and
This
you're
happens.
gonna just throw a rule on me? That's just crazy. It just recently happened with the NFL. They actually passed that rule for the coaches are allowed to challenge pass interference now. They're allowed to have a challenge.
Excuse me.
That's just gonna change the entire game, dog. You know, like people are already complaining about games going on long now, but like,
I mean,
yeah,
I think
stuff
there's
like
too
that.
many. I think there's too many rules in the NFL to begin with now.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's really convoluted.
whatever.
It's like it's almost like Uno, where like everybody's playing their own version.
You'll
And
draw
then
two,
it's-
now
yeah.
draw four.
Right. And it's not until like something really fucked up happens that people start realizing they're not playing the same game.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, my man puts a draw four down, and you know I start plucking the cards, but then the dude next to me puts a draw four down. I'm like, what is going on? And everybody starts putting draw fours down. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, so who's drawing? Like, I don't understand anymore. You know, it's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy, yo. Has anybody ever outside of us? I know me, Nick, and Greg, we got hit up with the CF mix-up. It wasn't really mixed up to us because I'm pretty sure we didn't give a shit. But has that ever happened to you, EJ? Like with like Smash or anything? Like, have they ever done that?
Like releasing a patch the day before or something.
Or like really close to a major event?
Not when I attended, but it's definitely happened in the past. Like with Genesis was a big one. I think they were doing this is when 4 was out. Like they just released Cloud and Bayo and all these other characters, or just those two in particular,
Yeah,
and
Return
nobody
of the
knew the
Eagle.
matchups. Yeah, nobody knew the matchups, so they ended up just running the older patch and then working with whatever. On this subject though, I think with any game, it should be a set time limit, like standard time limit before things can be released. Like I think you said the magic word was like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
I think every institution, every major should be like that. Should be run just like that.
Yeah, I feel like within 2 weeks we know if a character is broken or not. Because
Yeah,
like the thing that you run into with DLC characters is a lot of times they're not fucking play tested, so they'll come out and they'll be busted or glitched or whatever, and it's like within that 2 week time frame we're gonna understand if we're gonna need to outlaw this character or not before the next event. Because imagine if we had a 2 week time period where we could have been like, yeah, let's actually dove into Kokonoe before we're like, oh no, she's turned illegal. She was running like havoc that first week, just running.
I remember it was
And people let it rock.
versus Coco.
Yeah, it wasn't
Grand
until like 2 months later we're like, yo, we might have to ban this bitch.
Like, they
people
let that
started
shit
talking
rock
about it,
for
yo.
months.
Like, yeah, they're like, yeah, we might have to stop this. This is kind of absurd. Just a little
You know,
bit.
you know how one of my CEO runs ended? It ended because I lost to Kokonoe.
Twice.
No, not twice. Just that Kokonoe. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm a better player, but
Right.
my character loses. Like I can't do anything against this
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, sometimes matchups are rough and characters enable. That's just how it goes. It be that way sometimes. So they let you be that way sometimes. Yeah, but that's probably gonna be a thing. Like, I don't know if Rick's probably gonna leave it up to the masses like Jabali, because they work pretty close together. So he's probably gonna just throw the question out there and leave it to the BB Tag community.
I feel like because it's not on the Arc Revo tour, it's pretty much like whatever.
It's gonna be the patch, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't give a shit. Like, that joint could come out and Teddy could have a standing unblockable and neutral, and we just gonna let it rock, yo. Y'all just gonna have to jump or some shit, though.
He needs it.
And then people was gonna be like, yeah, but if I jump, I'm gonna get uppercutted, and I was like, yeah, that's the mix up.
That's the mix up.
Said that's the guesses we take. I was like, yeah, have you ever played Super Turbo? Oh man. Alright, so that knocks that out. I think we pretty much covered as much as we're going to be able to cover with
on that
topic,
yeah.
yo. I'm gonna leave the floor open to you guys for this next segment piece right here. Somebody, if anybody has anything they want to talk about, throw it out there, bruh. What else has happened?
Nothing crazy as of this weekend. Honestly, everything has run smooth this whole entire weekend. I know you guys were just talking about the tournament that just took place. That was really smooth.
Toshinsai.
Yeah, I don't think any part of that was bad. Besides Giuna being awkward, but that's it.
But that's just like on our side. That's a restream, because I'm pretty sure they had a Japanese dedicated stream for the main stream for the event. It's just like the restream.
Other than that, though, smooth.
But Giuna's pretty tame. Like, I wouldn't say, okay, so it's a pick your poison type of thing, because it's like you can get Giuna or you can get Majin Obama.
Yeah, I think Giuna's definitely rather fine.
We need both
of other commentaries. I think Majin Obama has his moments.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
he definitely needs that too. He definitely needs a commentator to calm him down.
Yeah,
to bring him back.
Anchor him.
Yeah. If he doesn't, then it gets a little wild.
Yeah, it can get a little nutty. That's what I'm talking about, like Giuna and Majin Obama. Now you guys are talking craziness stuff.
That's two evils together. You can't do that.
That's too powerful. That's like Guy Man. That's like Guy Man and Majin Obama.
I forgot about Guy Man.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's out there, bro.
Can we get Beat and Majin Obama on the stage together?
Does that person even exist anymore?
I hope not.
It's been a long time. I don't know. I'm out the loop, dog. Like, I don't leave the house, so I don't know who's prevalent in our area or whatever.
I don't know. I mean, since we're talking about commentary, I watch Xanadu sometimes on Thursdays.
So we're gonna,
are we going into that, or are we?
I tell you what, I'm gonna let you get out yours, and then I'm gonna open up the topic, bro.
Because
go ahead and get your rocks off, bro.
Because I watch Xanadu on Thursdays, primarily for Under Night, and I guess Guilty Gear, because it's before Under Night most of the time, and generally it's usually Seth and I think it's Shin.
I know Seth is moving though. He's moving.
Yeah, Seth's leaving, so I mean that's kind of a. I guess you could say that's a blow to Xanadu anime commentary. I guess not really. I mean Seth does the best that he can to commentate the games that he doesn't really play too much. He kind of does, but I mean he knows enough to kind of get by. But it's kind of slacking over there. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. It's just we need some of the actual. I mean, this is kind of a thing that we've also brought up, even with BB, is that we need more of the actual players to commentate, or people if they're going to commentate, they kind of have to brush up on the game to commentate, because there's definitely a lot of people who get on commentary and they don't know jack shit, or they don't know their stuff.
I'll expand on that for you. Shout outs to the Xanadu community for not allowing regular people on the mic, because you need to have a dumbass commentary reel. Yeah. Freaking stupid.
Are you serious?
I'm not even joking.
Yeah, hold up. Wait. Whoa. Wait, hold up. So you're telling me every person that's on the mic at Xanadu for Thursdays has a commentary reel?
Yes.
Why? Because all right, so we're going this route then. Okay. So All right, so out of all the commentators that I see,
Oh shit.
Seth's probably the only one that would really have an actual quote unquote commentary reel, which
Yeah.
I mean he's done things.
He's done
So, but you're talking about every other Johnny Donuts has been on the stream, like the Shin dude. I don't know who he is.
What about that white guy who I honestly hate?
Isan?
What you talking about,
Yeah,
dude?
yeah.
Something, dude.
No, are you talking about Dude Master or Isan?
Yeah, dude, man.
Dude Master?
No, I
Isan?
actually
Yeah.
don't mind Dude Master. Isan, that freaking white dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's talking about Isan.
Yeah, every time that dude comes on the mic, it's like he reminds me of the freaking meme of the white kid standing there in the shorts. He's just like, had to do it to him. That's what he reminds me of, and that's how he talks, and it really hurts my brain.
Oh man.
So-
And he doesn't know anything about the games he commentates.
'Cause
Other
I
than like
know-
Street Fighter.
I can actually contest to what like Nick said, because I remember it was one monthly, right? And they ran BBCF that monthly, and nobody was on commentary for it like at all. And it's because they require people to have the commentary reel, and it went on for like 3/4 of the tournament until eventually we're at top 4 now, and they're like, "Hey, we like desperately need somebody on this joint." So me and Charlie got on there, and it was like whatever, because you know. But yeah, it's like a thing there where for a local you need a commentary reel. I could understand if it was a regional,
A
or like
major.
a major.
Yeah, locals is where you're supposed to get your experience.
Exactly.
But it's like if you're not allowing people to
And
even
nope.
get on to try to attempt the art of commentary,
You're not-
then
you're
you're
not
never
gonna
gonna
get-
have commentators. Yeah,
you're
you're
never
gonna
gonna have anyone.
I was
you're
just about to hit on that.
you're gonna be putting the same trash ass people on every week that don't play the game or they're not good at it. You know what I mean? And they're just throwing out like misinformation. And it's one of those things where the people that are doing this and commentating this are the type of people that are sitting there putting their opinions out and being cool with it and letting it rock for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then realizing after the blow up that, oh fuck, I might have messed up, and they try to like backtrack and be like, yeah, kind of sorry about saying that, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that just don't know what they're talking about. Or
So
doing,
this
like-
is actually even worse now for I guess Under Night, because Seth really only commentates Under Night when I see him, because out of the two, Seth obviously is the only one that kind of knows what's going on or kind of can commentate it enough. But when Seth leaves, I mean they're SOL, because Dugan's like Stefan's not there. And when Stefan is there, I don't think he's going to want to commentate.
Because he's playing.
Yeah, because he's too busy playing. So it's
Playing
like,
to win.
yeah, like, so who else you
Yeah.
got? I mean, who else you got? Exactly. You don't have anyone else.
Yeah,
So,
I
Can't
don't
put,
know.
can't put Nick on.
Like, so, like, I think it's cool because, like, you can have Seth who's got the experience and knows the things to kind of help the other person, in this case would be Shin, to get things up to date and make sure he's correct on this stuff, and, you know, kind of, in a sense, help him get associated and a little more accustomed to the role. And like it's same thing with Dude Master. Like Dude Master's actually all right for Street Fighter, because generally he's always on there. And you have someone else over there to commentate with him.
I don't
And,
mind Dude Master, like, so that goes into something that I'm probably gonna bring up later on in the commentary discussion. But I don't mind when people commentate the shit that they play. Dude Master plays Street Fighter, that makes sense. But they've had this dude commentate Tekken. They've had this dude commentate. I don't know. I guess they need bodies, and he's.
But they don't have commentary reels. Kyle.
Yeah,
how do they get on commentary if they don't have the experience?
It's like them jobs that they say they need a certain amount of experience, but you can't get that amount of experience because everybody needs that experience.
Why is commentary real like a passport, though?
It's not a passport. You're supposed to get your experience from locals. You can't tell your people to come to locals, and then you come to locals and you want to try commentary. Like, we're getting a commentary reel? What?
It just happens to be one of those occupations where, like, you literally graduate from high school and they force you to get this job, but at the job it requires you to have a master's.
All I'm saying is when I was in Maryland and I did commentary as Xanadu, I didn't have a commentary reel. Gimmer needed some people to commentate Marvel. I hopped on and I did good. I learned from that. You telling me now I can't even do the local jobs because I don't have a commentary reel?
I don't know. And I kind of feel like as an event host, you hold all the power anyway. Because I've had mad random people on my stream when I've streamed events commentate, and if they were trash, I kicked them off. Like, you can do that.
But
You
I'm
told me
saying,
I have
right,
to kick
but
off.
we're not even getting there. Right. We're not
because
even
you
getting
don't
there.
have nobody.
Right. Yeah, we're not even getting there, dog. Like, it's its own problem. That shit's
I don't
crazy.
even make that's just so ass backwards thinking, man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's really crazy. Yo. Welcome to commentary, everybody. Hey, welcome to commentary
So,
on the Crash the Net podcast.
the joke's on you, Greg. You have to have a commentary reel to be on here. So
That's OD.
I'm gonna need you to get off.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need you to go back to,
take that mic off.
I'm gonna need you to go to Versus Gaming Center and go back to Friday. That's all my information right there. I got you.
All right,
That's
tune in to yesterday at the cave for my my top tier bullshitting of Eunice.
There we go. So hold on. So EJ ain't got his real.
You see why he ain't
Oh
talking, right?
man, get him out of
We're
here.
gonna have to kick him off the call.
Hold on, I did not commentate as that.
Did you?
Nope.
Did
Yeah.
you? Where's the
Nah,
real?
On your stream.
Where's the
It's
real?
on your
I don't
stream.
know. You gotta show me the
Show-
footage,
show the-
man.
show the
I don't
tape.
Where
believe
that?
you. I don't believe you.
I got it's in the
Show
archives.
those
I gotta
tapes.
find them. I gotta find them.
Oh,
I got
man.
you.
Source in the archives, you know they
That
don't
was a
save
long
archives
ass time
past
ago.
like 30 days
It's
now.
like old ass green Xanadu.
Yeah, it don't work. It ain't there. It ain't there.
It's expired. It's like milk.
It's
bro.
gone. It's gone. Did you put it on YouTube? Did you save it?
Did Kyle put it on YouTube?
Ah, shit.
Hold on, he might have. Hold
Nah,
on.
looks like a no to me.
Time
Sound
to
like a
do some
no.
research.
Sound like a no to me right now.
He
So
gonna dig on
passionate.
there, yo, and he's gonna find that time when Nefanel busts his ass. That's what he's gonna find.
I mean, Nefanel's kind of a god.
Oh,
man.
He was
He
playing
said,
God like that.
He
Dude.
said, "Oh, is that Master Crash?"
You
You see how I ain't say nothing to that dude?
Hey man.
Oh
Nah,
my
he-
goodness.
He
said,
a lord
"Oh,
though. He a lord
oh
though.
snap!" He said, "Master Crash MD." Is that you?
Yeah, boy.
Oh man, I've seen you in like 2 years.
That shit was crazy, man. It was like something
is
out of a
cringe.
sitcom, bro.
That is so cringe. bro.
Randomly in DC. It's
It's like,
crazy.
like trying to see Save On.
See, I mean, I respect that. At least he like recognized me. I go everywhere else. Everybody thinks I'm fucking coma. So like, it is what it is, yo.
Oh, at Katsu, they said, "Hey,
Nah, it's everywhere,
you.
man. It's everywhere, yo.
I know you, bro.
Coma
Did you-
Crash MD.
Did you just win Winter Brawl?" He said,
I'm like, bro, training partner, dog. Hey, come on.
I
Man.
was talking to Coma last night, and I was like, he's like, "Oh man, da-da-da," and he's like said somebody's name, and I was like, "Dog, that's not that person." He was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, that's wrong." I was like, "Damn, all brothers look alike, huh,
Yeah,
Coma?"
apparently.
He said, "It's not like that." I was like, "I guess."
Apparently, I look like coma or some crazy shit. But
New
yeah.
age Coma.
So commentary. So as we break into this conversation about commentary, we have a couple of points I feel like we should hit throughout the discussion. One point, we can open up with our thoughts on commentary as a whole, like I guess across all games at the current moment. I would also like to touch up on, is it a necessity? That's a really important question too. Do we need it?
Yeah.
No.
Also, after we give our opinion of how we feel commentary is right now, we need to have some type of resolution to that, either a positive or negative way to either change it, keep it the same, basically bring it to whatever the next level for it may be. So, I don't know. Starting off, what are y'all's opinions on commentary? Like current commentary right now.
I got things.
Feel free. Like, I don't mind if you name drop. I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I mean? I feel
People are
like
trash.
we're trying to be 100% in here. We're trying to help people get better. I understand people are trying, but this is, feedback is where it gets started.
All right, so Nick opinion. Sorry, a Nick opinion. I had to get that right. Commentary is trash. All commentary.
It's pretty bad.
It's all terrible. I would rather just have the game on. BB, turn that music all the way up. Sound effects all the way up. I don't want to hear no voices.
I'm so tired of hearing bad
Oh God,
takes and
It-
just horrible misinformation from
These
the
dudes-
commentaries.
be getting on the mic, and it's like, okay, cool. You play the game. I appreciate you for playing. But damn, you are dumb. Get off the mic. You're just saying dumb stuff. All your info's wrong. You're like giving like character opinions. You're like, oh, Izanami's, she's not that good. And she could be the best character in the game. Just saying dumb stuff, and then it makes everyone that play, look stupid because you're saying it. You're the face
Right.
at that moment.
Yeah, commentary could be extremely misleading with that because people that have not seen the game before or people that may be interested in the game that are watching the stream for that get opinions and views of something that might not actually be true. So if you got a commentator shoving down your throat telling you that a character is busted or stupid, you're not going to want to deal with that. So you're either avoid the game or better yet, maybe even decide to play the character. Who knows? You know what I mean? But misinformation seems to be a huge negative that comes out of commentary. My current thought on it at the moment, I do believe that a majority of commentary is bad. There's a lot of bad. It's very few good people that I would consider to be well spoken when it comes to commentary. I feel like it's everybody's fault again. Like a lot of stuff in the FGC surprisingly is everybody's fault. It's kind of our fault for allowing these people to continue to commentate when we know that they're bad. But like I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like a sign of the times too, because it's like if I also explained it before in one of the previous podcasts, if we were to have a pie chart of player skill levels, it's like I said, 10% really good players, like maybe 20% like intermediate, like advanced players, and then like everybody else is a scrub. So like if you have somebody that has no idea what the fuck they're talking about commentating, and they're commentating to a 70% audience, like, you know, all these scrubs, it's like, okay, to them it's going to sound good. There are scrubs out there that think really bad commentators are really good. Like, they
You're
do.
right.
And if that's what, it's one of those things where it's like, if that's what the people want, keep giving it to them. But it doesn't really help. Like, it doesn't really help because you're getting the wrong type of information.
Look, the whole reason why they even want reels, at least for majors, is because they don't want shit commentary, right? They don't want really bad people getting on stage and, or, you know, behind the booth and making some false claims or really bad misinformation for all the viewers. This is why they do that. Now, that being said, I'll agree with Nick on the portion that commentary can be trash, but there's a lot of good commentary as well. And I feel like if esports is going to move in towards like where it's going right now, it still needs to have commentary. And you know, I see Goodman saying, you know, it's PG now. You know, they're trying to keep that presentation like, hey, we can be this or that. We can be professional at all times, you know, even though, you know, it's a video game. And that's the stigma that they're trying to relate to the masses. Everyone needs to know like this can be an official sport, and that's where commentating comes in, to let the people know that don't know anything about the game, everything about the game, with what they need to know at least in that match. You know, so I feel like it's necessary.
Even looking at it in that context, right? So I've actually done this before. If you've ever watched like a top 8 game, or like let's say even a grand final set, watch the game, listen to the commentary, right? Take what you learned from that, or how it sounded, how it felt, and then watch a sporting event and listen to the commentary in that, because it's supposed to be the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, literally, commentary is a play-by-play. It's a play-by-play of what's going on to the screen, because sometimes people that are watching, even though they might enjoy the sport or follow the sport, don't exactly understand or see everything that's going on. So the commentators are literally there as translators to bridge the gap. That's the purpose. That's the purpose of that position, right? But when you apply that to like an FGC type of event, right? The commentary is bad because 90% of the time they're not doing a play-by-play. They're not bridging. Right. They don't know what's going on. Right. They're not bridging that gap. They're telling stories. They're making noises.
And I see what you're saying. So that's why they should go through a better screening process with this issue being said. If you guys think it's actual garbage, you think it's fucking terrible, and you don't want to hear it anymore, get better commentators.
Look,
I wouldn't say turn it off though. You know, that's kind of going OD.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something right now, bro. There is nothing wrong with nuking it. Because
yeah,
when I watch tournaments,
I've done it many times.
Right. When I watch tournaments, not about 90% of the time, that shit is muted. Because I can't put up with it. And I'm not missing a beat, dog. If you need to tell me that I'm going to have some clown or some fool commentating a match that's really important, that's hype and all that, and so on and so forth, it kind of drowns out the experience. Where if you were to just get the raw footage of the game, if that makes sense. I feel like bad commentary definitely spoils the mood.
It depends. What are we considering bad now? Like what is the criteria of bad?
So actually, I'm gonna help you out with that.
All right, before Greg gives his, I'm gonna say mine real quick. If whatever's going on in the commentary, whether it be the play-by-play, a conversation, whatever, if it's drowning out and grabbing your attention more than the game is, that's an issue. Because the game is supposed to be the focal point. Commentary is there to help it along. Like, it's an add-on. That's all I gotta say about that.
Okay.
Like, you go.
But
You
no,
go.
I was saying because this is gonna actually lead into like what makes bad commentary, and actually because there has been a lot of commentary talk on Twitter the past few days, I actually
You gotta fill me in on that, by the way. I haven't
so
seen anything.
specifically this one because I actually commented on like what makes you know like it was so I'm gonna actually drop the Twitter link
Okay.
from Brother Galileo, who
That'd
I
be
see
necessary.
often all the time. And the tweets like open question. Anyone is welcome to answer. What are your pet peeves for FGC commentary? What are the main things that make you mute the stream or tune out or otherwise dislike listening to? Trying to keep myself in check. So basically, I said trying to be funny and not informative, being uninformative nor funny, lack of actual coverage on the match, ranting on about other junk while a match is happening, or everyone
Mhm.
trying to be a Yipes and not themselves.
Yeah.
Like that's literally
Okay.
almost everybody right now.
Okay, see,
Almost.
and this is why I'm getting kind of like misconstrued because as of lately, like the only well, let me not say that. The only good commentary that I can actually name right now off the top of my head is probably like Sajam. And you might disagree with that, but I actually think he's a solid commentator.
Listen. I will accept the fact that Sajam is a good commentator when he's commentating shit he plays.
Yeah.
I hate Sajam commentating stuff that he's played for a week or 2 weeks just because he's Sajam. People put him on. They're like, oh, he's a commentator. You just put him on anything. Nah, that shit is not like Mrs. Dash, my dude. It's not Obey. We're not putting it on everything. Like, if you're commentating Street Fighter, cool. If you're commentating, I guess he played a little bit of KI, cool.
Yeah.
Don't have that fool commentating Tekken. Don't have him commentating Under Night. Don't have him commentating.
So make it game specific. Make your real game specific.
There needs to be rules with that. But I feel like a lot of people are getting positions off of clout.
That's the problem.
You know what I mean?
That's the biggest problem right now. Is that you're getting in. Actually, what to bring into this actually reminds me back at Red Bull because I remember who was it? Was it freaking who's the Philly dude? Your boy who commentates.
I'm trying to think. Philly.
You know who? Not like he's in the Philly, New York guys area, but he's always streaming. He's always got the jokes. But he's a relatively decent commentator. He commentated Evo with Ryan Hunter for Guilty Gear. I can't remember his name, but he brought it up on how I think he was interested in trying to commentate for Guilty Gear at Red Bull in DC, but it didn't happen because you got the same people of like Tasty Steve, Sajam, Yipes, the usual commentary crew, and like outside of like Tasty Steve, who I know who played Guilty Gear.
Yes, he did.
Like I couldn't tell you who else actually really bothers to really play Guilty Gear like that because I don't think Sajam really does. Like I know James Chin and Ultra David from time to time kind of like delve into the basics of learning Guilty Gear and streaming it, but
why
like
is James Chin commentating Guilty Gear?
Yeah, but I was like, I wouldn't really comment. I wouldn't really give James Chin commentary for Guilty Gear when you have a bunch of other East Coast players.
Yeah, that don't make no damn sense to me. They got James Chin commentating fucking Guilty Gear, though.
But like this also goes back into a lot of the issues with commentary is that you don't have any like super big up and coming commentary people on the mic because most of the ones that are commentating aren't good, and then outside of that, you kind of default back to your Sajams, your Tasty Steve, your Ultra Davids, the usual crew for those games. But like look at Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat has a good slew of good commentators. Like I always see those the European dudes, Ketchup and Mustard, like always mentioned. And for like a good minute, people are always asking about them, trying to bring them over for Evo commentary, and they always kind of get upset. But I'm sure there's more into it since they're not from America. More legal things when it comes to being paid, whatnot. But I mean, for BB, couldn't tell you who really is like super good on commentary because
the only person I can say, and I wouldn't say super good, but like I wouldn't even say tolerable. Like I'd say like okay. Person that I can respect on commentary for BB, I feel like Arm is not bad.
Yeah. So like but that's like you got one person for like that.
It's like
that game.
One person. Like I can tolerate his commentary, but then it's like you run into this, right? Because even when they have like SKD commentate, it's not that his commentary is bad. It's just that the thought process and what he's explaining flies so far above people's
Yeah,
heads that it
that's
doesn't work. You need somebody. You need somebody in the middle. You know.
that's
what I mean?
also a problem that is kind of, and that, I can't find that tweet, but Hanzo Gonzo actually kind of brought it up where he was talking about what's a good person, good commentary, good personal commentary, and it was like someone who's informative, someone who's not like someone who's informative and hype, someone who's not informative but hype, someone who's hype but not informative. And I was like, out of those three, you can't, you get a pros and cons with each of those, because you get like your top players like SKD or Justin on commentary, and like everyone knows who they are, and they know stuff, and they're really about knowledgeable because obviously they're out here winning tournaments and they're lab monsters and whatnot. But like when you have them on commentary, they're seeing it as if they're playing. So
Right.
they'll call out stuff like, I don't know why he did this or he should have done that, and people don't like that. But these are the guys, like, they're looking at it as if they're playing. They're looking at it as a player, right? So so some people don't like that, but like that's their mindset. They don't think outside of that.
Yeah, that's how they
So
do the
then
game.
So then you get someone that's like a mid-level player, I mean, in that case, you have like someone like Liam, who's, he's informative. He knows when things are hype. He explains what's going on. If people don't understand, if it looks like it could be something that could be very easy to get lost on, he explains it while still being on the beat of what's going on with the match. But for some people, he may not be hype because he's not always screaming and yelling. I mean, he has those moments where hype stuff happens, but like he's not hollering and yelling in the mic.
Yeah.
So, but then then you have like your low-level players where they just need someone to kind of be on the mic because they don't have anyone else to be on the mic. So they come on the mic and they kind of spit their nonsense while not really paying attention to the match. They may catch like one or two things, and the one or two things they catch are like really, really big things that anybody can catch because it's hype, but not like the small, intricate details of like why he's doing this in neutral or why they're not doing this. Or let's say you get it. It's a give or take kind of thing.
That's always been one of my pet peeves when it comes to commentary. I feel like you shouldn't be forcing your opinion or your like inside of will when it comes to a match, because now it's like you're predicting and you're giving advice for something that you have no idea because you're not in a player's headspace. I've actually seen quite a few players get pissed off because the commentator said, "Oh, he should have did this," or he's probably gonna do this. Like they're predicting the match, and they're like, "Dude, I'm not even thinking about that at all." Like you're putting the viewers in an uncomfortable spot now, because it's like, okay, this is how we view it based upon what the commentators are saying, and it's 100% like incorrect. Like there needs to be,
go as far as by calling the guy trash or a female trash or whoever is playing.
Right. Now that I don't understand too, because it's a double-edged sword and a standard to it. So for instance, I know the famous tweet behind it was, if you sit there and you're playing against Daigo and you knock Daigo down 3 times, and all 3 times he woke up with uppercut, they're gonna say that, oh, it's genius, he's forcing an RPS situation. But if it's somebody random that we've never heard before, you knock them down and they DP 3 times on wake up, they're gonna be like, oh, this person's a nut. You know what I mean? Like a double-edged sword off of like clout, I can almost say. Whereas they're both in the same mindset, they're just fucking doing it. But
that's how
that
works, though. That you can't help that, because that's in everything.
But the thing is, you could be objective about it. So like when I commentate, I try to make a point that if somebody wakes up with something crazy or something, I'm just like, ooh, or something. I like, like I'll step back for a second. Yeah, I won't be like, yeah, that was crazy, I don't know why he did that. Like I'm not gonna say that. Like it's like he made a decision, and I would be like, he woke up with an uppercut or he woke up with a super, and he's probably, or he should get punished for this. That's what I'll say. I'll say something along the lines of that. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, this guy's trash because, he's waking up reversals and all that. I don't know the circumstance. Maybe he's feeling pressured. Like that could possibly be a thing. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he's trying to force an RPS situation. Like there's so much more that goes into it than like what a lot of people lead on, and I feel like it's a part of what Greg was saying, where you get people that do play the game to a semi-competent level, and they're putting themselves in the shoes of the person that they're playing against, and then like somebody does that to you 3 times, you're like, damn, this dude's a nut. You know what I mean? You're gonna be thinking that. But as a commentator, you gotta be you can't really be subjective with the audience and like one-sided with the players. You can't, because everybody is literally equal playing field. Justin Wong could be playing Johnny Donuts. Johnny Donuts could be playing Sally Two Shoes. Everybody is a competitor. Like that's literally what the mindset needs to be with like commentary. It don't matter what the background is or anything like that. backgrounds and all that shit is cool for like statistics leading into the match. But once the match is on, it needs to be about the match, not about, you know what I mean, anything else going on with that or somebody's background or what they're doing.
I agree with that, and like I was telling you before, I know I'm about to bring up Smash because they're the only ones who I've seen do this in esports so far, esports. But they are the only ones who I've seen take like match like statistics and put it on before the stream, kind of like a Sports Center type of deal. Like they'll put it on the stream, show you the percentage of Johnny Donuts 1 versus Johnny Donuts 2,
You know,
and show a chart. They have charts and all this crazy stuff.
to add to that, you know who actually kind of somewhat used to do that? Xanadu with when freaking
Zanbats.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
did. They did.
Yeah,
Long
when
time ago.
Proto Man and Seth actually were like doing everything. They actually you know, they used to
Kept
do the
track of
highlights. They used to do like the top 10 highlights every week during Zambats, and then they used to have player cards and everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
forgot
great.
all about that.
Yeah,
It was
I think a
ahead
lot of
its
people
time.
I think a lot of people don't know that Xanadu actually kind of started a lot of the things that like WNF and Spooky and them do now. 'Cause,
Yeah. You know,
that
not
was-
to take any credit away from Spooky, you know, he is
Yeah.
king, but Zan honestly like kind of started the stream game for FGC. It was a
Yeah.
DMV thing. The Zanbats were popping back then, man.
Yeah, remember when Marvel 3 dropped? Like everybody watched
Yeah.
Marvel 3. Like when that first week it dropped, and Marn came down and it scraped everybody. It was like everybody was watching Xanadu.
K-Brad was coming. That's when he was still
That was
over
before
here.
K-Brad's time, man. That
Yeah.
was before K-Brad's time.
Yeah, it was. It
Oh,
definitely
damn.
was because he didn't really like K-Brad didn't really start
He didn't-
playing
he didn't
Marvel
really
until
come.
like Ultimate. You know what I mean? And then he didn't come out like though he was in the area like that. I honestly don't even think he came out for Marvel. I remember him
He
coming
came
out
out
to
for
Zan
maybe,
for like
like-
Street Fighter, but like
He came
not,
out maybe like once, but I mean the first time I saw him come out to Xanadu was like for Street Fighter Cross Tekken / I think also Street Fighter, but yeah, I don't think he was really playing Marvel that much
Marvel, yeah.
when that was when you know when he was playing.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, man. I don't know. There needs to be some type of guideline or something.
I definitely think it's very lax, and that's my issue. Is that it's really lax, compared to, well, not really compared to, but like every other thing that goes on in FGC
Well,
stuff.
I can
But,
say it comparatively to like other games, like you know the
Yeah.
commentary and shooters for like esports or like Dota or you know any of the MOBA games. It's nowhere near the level that you know FGC is. We're like way behind.
I mean, we're way behind in like everything. You didn't see that graph
Nah,
of the esports like
nah,
timeline?
We're gonna need the
I gotta-
esports graph. Yeah,
I gotta find it. It's not like a graph,
Right,
but it's like
yeah.
it's like a moving timeline of like how much money game has made since they've been in esports, like their
Right.
introduction to esports to like 2000 something to now, and like Street Fighter 5 not even up there. Like the actually the high,
you don't look at a bar graph in FGC. It's
Yeah.
gonna literally be a straight ass line.
like the funniest thing is the highest games out of like quote unquote FGC was DOA 4 and Smash.
Mm.
Go
That makes
figure.
sense.
But I think GOA 4 was the one that got the highest, and at one point it was the highest. I think around that time, I think Smash started to fall off. But I think DOA 4 I think had the highest out of the two, followed by Smash, and then obviously it fell off because DOA 4 didn't make any more after that pop bonus or whatever it did. And Smash is still making money, but I mean all the other esport games are just making way more money than Smash, and it just falls off the grid. Let me see if I can find that tweet real quick.
Why are you looking for that? I just wanted to expand on I just remember why I was saying that. So the reason why I mentioned those graphs and everything is because even if you have the statistics in front of you, you know, I'm agreeing 100%. You shouldn't be bashing a player based on his history. You know, once the match starts, that's it. It's in that moment, and you have a lot of commentators even in that community that they they look at the past and just run with it. They completely run with it.
I definitely
instead of
think it's
focusing on now.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely think it's you know, it's all right to have stats to look back on, and you know, obviously they're stats. They're not you know, they're written in stone because they're in the past, but like they don't define the player and how they're going to play this time or the next time. It's just something to go off of, and you know, use that as a build up to what could happen, what possibly might happen. You know, it's not a set in stone thing. And yeah, I definitely think people definitely hold a lot of what happened in the past as opposed to just paying attention to what's going on in the future, because you don't know what's going to happen right then and there when they're playing. I mean, somebody could have a complete off day. Somebody they could be completely on and just completely blow those stats out. And now you're not looking at the stats. You're just like, yo, what happened? Like just last week, the stats said this. Now this week, he's on a completely different level than what the stats say.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I feel like you gotta be like subjective, man. Like you
Yeah.
got to. You gotta-
Commentators can't be doing that. You know,
Oh, here it is. Hold on.
You can't choose sides. You can't label people. There's a lot of labeling.
So I'm gonna post this in the chat here. This is the interactive graph that is moving, showing the prize money, the top 15 esports games by prize money, and it's very interesting to see. Just even as just the esports, just not even just as an FGC thing.
it
just
starts from
esports.
2000. Jeez.
Yeah, because you gotta remember, like before, like these organizations stuff. Now, dog, MLG was a thing.
Yeah, MLG, Counter Strike, FPS
Kind of started it.
I miss MLG.
I don't.
They're gone for a reason.
Damn, Halo 2 killing it.
Omega doo doo.
It's a very interesting bar graph to watch because FPS was definitely king for a good minute, followed by FPS was good king, and StarCraft was like that MOBA game that kind of hung with FPS, and it then things just kind of fell off a little bit, and StarCraft creeps up, and then games like League of Legends start popping up and just overtake all the others really quickly. So it's really like I said, as esports look at it, it's very interesting to look at.
Damn, by 13, Halo 3 capped. Jeez.
Yeah, that game is old, yo. I kind of feel like, for FGC commentary wise, it has growing pains, cause when it first started, right? I guess we can kind of go back to like the originators of commentary. We got to say like the original duo, Ultra David, James Chen. It worked for what it was, and everybody respected their commentary because it was all we had. Like, and that goes with anything. So when you think about games you played as you grew up from when you was a child, you were like, damn, this game was so godlike, yada, right? And you go back and you play that game now, and you realize it actually doesn't age that well. You're like, oh, this is actually kind of shit. Like, but at the time, it was godlike because it was all we had. It was the best we had, right? So back then, the type of commentary that we had flew, and it was cool because it was literally all we had. But the problem is a lot of that commentary didn't really mature. Like I'm sure it's gotten slightly better as time has progressed, but it hasn't been like a landslide type of progression with commentary. So it's like we're stuck with commentary now that's really similar to how it was when it started, and that's just not good enough. Like we're at a time and an age where not only do we deserve more, but there should be more content when it comes to that.
I definitely agree on that.
Because my thing is, like, I have a certain tolerance for different commentators and different shenanigans and stuff they pull. Like, we'll all have a sweet spot in our heart for like Yipes commentary. There are a lot of people out there that respect Ultra David. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of James Chen. I don't think there isn't a single thing I can.
I'll agree with you.
There's not anything. I'm sorry, James. Like, I respect the effort. That's cool, but there's just nothing I can really compliment for that guy. But as time goes on, it just has to be more, man. Like, the content just got to be better, yo. Like, the gimmicks, and it's literally that gimmicks aren't enough.
That is
like,
definitely.
I enjoy Yipes commentary for locals. It works for that. That's cool. I don't mind him at majors when they put him on with certain people. They can anchor him down. But when you have him on commentary with like, Chris Matrix or somebody for like a major, it can kind of get off the rails. Like,
can I add to this because I definitely agree that I love Yipes. I love Matrix. When they're doing their thing, but I think because they're those two and they're doing their usual bits. I think they get away a lot with not commentating at all. Like they're literally just not saying anything, but they'll just go into their jokes.
Yeah, jokes.
People are cool with it because it's
them.
Matrix. Yeah, and I'm like, I understand, but like they're not really commentating anything. They're
right.
Just saying stuff.
And that's what I was saying, where it's like sometimes it can fall into like a clout type of thing, We're like we're letting okay, this is fine for this person because they're this person.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? Where from looking at commentary as a whole, you can't sit there and say that to me and then complain about commentary. You be
Right.
like, oh, I'm cool with, Yipes doing that because, it's Yipes, man. It's cool. But then when Johnny Donuts gets on and tries to emulate what Yipes is doing, you have a problem with it. Like, no, you're telling me this is cool. Like, you got to be uniform about it. We can't just apply it to certain people. It doesn't work like that. Otherwise, we're never going to have progression because it's going to be literally a constant cycle of imitation. Because even when, I can say that David, like the one that was down here that moved to Seattle, he was really big in the commentary. He was about it, and I respect that because I feel like that part of the scene now is it's a part where you can actually focus on that being not necessarily a career, but you can be detail orientated and driven to do that. Like, not just playing the game anymore. There's so many different aspects of the FGC now. It could be with creating content. It could be with commentary. It could be with, like I said, coaching. I'm pretty sure coaching is going to be a huge part of FGC. It's going to be a thing, right? And we need people like that are driven to do that because those are the type of people that are going to lead us in the future with it. But his problem when he was starting off was his basis and his baseline that he was using for references were like already established commentators. So he's using Ultra David. He's using James Chen. He's using their material to help bring him up. And it doesn't really work. You got to kind of like find your own way. You know what I mean? And eventually I feel like he did. Like, I feel like before he left, he was at a pretty comfortable medium where his commentary was. I know I could tolerate his commentary a lot more when he was about to leave than when he first started commentating. I couldn't stand him. Like,
Destruction.
It was bad. And that was a D1 thing. D1 that was a D1 line.
Yeah, I didn't know that until y'all told me. I was
Yes.
like, man, always talking about some destruction.
Yes, it was
What
a
is
D1
up with
line.
this?
That's like me going around and commentating and coining bus ass. Like, that's a Yipes term. I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And you don't need flashy one-liners to be a good commentator. Like, just fucking talk about the game. Be yourself. Like, you know what I mean?
It'll come.
Yeah, like, you don't. I feel like everybody is reaching so deep into like the jokes and the being
everybody wants to be
entertaining
funny.
bit. You know what I mean? And it's not about that. Like, people are missing the point. Like,
That's the problem. Like, everyone's too busy trying to get a laugh or funny or like a quick Twitch clip, but like during all that, they're not commentating the match or they're just spreading misinformation on the mic. And I'm just like, yo, like, I don't care that you made a funny or tried to make a funny or imitating someone else, but like, you're not commentating the match, which is a lot going on right now, and
Do your job.
you're not doing it. I didn't come here to watch you laugh or to watch you talk about jokes so I can laugh. Like, if I want that, I can go somewhere else and do that.
You
I don't
watch
need
the
it.
IRL stream.
Yeah, like, I don't need
Like,
you to sit here and try and make a funny to be a 15-second Twitch clip
Right.
when I'm trying to watch the damn match. Like, commentate the match, man. Like, did you just see what happened? Like, did you see what he just did to avoid this or how he's playing the match? Like, you're not seeing this. If you are, you're not commentating on it because you're too busy trying to get the joke out.
I kind of feel like we rarely get the in between. We either get, people that are too focused on the punchline or a lot of dead air. Like, there's literally no in between because that's a problem too, where you put two people in that are awkward and they sit there, and it's like, you got to say something, man. Like, you got to say something. I don't know, but I kind of feel like the stepping stones that were laid down in commentary for the FGC are kind of a result of the problem that is commentary now, if that makes sense.
Makes total sense.
Like I said, this is me not necessarily bashing anybody or anything like that, because I understand that there are people that commentate that are trying and look for viewer feedback and so on and so forth. That's cool. And it's also strong to understand that you're not going to be able to please everyone. Everybody's looking for something different. So when you have a million people saying that your commentary is bad and they all have a million different reasons for why your commentary is bad, it can be really hard to improve from that. I'm just saying that I feel like there should be some type of general guideline. Like, if the original commentators wrote that, they had a guideline for commentary that people could build off of, I feel like the commentary would be a lot better now. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure there are 90% of these original commentators that don't even know how they got there. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have a guideline for it because they're just talking to them. They're not even trying. There are people out here that are legit, like, pulling teeth trying to figure out commentary, Like, it's I don't know, man. It's not easy, I suppose. I literally just talk. it's like night and day for me. I don't consider myself a commentator or anything like that. People have told me that my commentary is good, but literally I just follow the guideline. It's like, all right,
Not hard.
make sure you're talking about the match. You know, advance the match forward. If a joke comes in there, it needs to be natural. Don't force it. Like too much forced
It's
jokes,
extremely forced half the time.
forced hype. Like, I'm not about that. You know what I mean? If something hype happens, you know, get excited for it. That's on you. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and try to force a mood on the audience to get them to feel some type of way. That's not my job as a commentator. You know? But I don't know. For me, it's not that hard. I don't know. So who's gonna rebel? Who's going to go up to Zan and get them to get better commentators? Or
Y'all fly me out, I'll definitely do it.
Or
Well,
let
I think
people
it's
try.
enabling people too. That's
Y'all
the
fly
worst.
me out, I'll definitely do it.
What's enabling people? You talking about commentary?
In a way, because those people that get on stage probably, even though they're not sitting in the hot seat actually playing, they probably feel like, and I'm not saying this by facts by any means necessary. I can only think of one instance where this might be true, 100%. But most of those people that are actually on the reels that are getting up on Xanadu's stage probably feel more entitled than others.
Why?
The ones playing the game?
No,
The ones
people-
winning.
Yeah, the ones winning or the ones on commentary?
the ones on commentary.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, why?
Oh,
Beat
you
'em
say?
up.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because
I see what
they
you're
had to
saying.
get accepted. You know, anybody can play a game. I got accepted to do this. This is what I'm doing.
I guess. And not doing a good job. I mean, I'm just being straight honest. Like, I just watched commentary, and it's just like, it's not saying like for locals is where you go to get the experience. But like, if you have to have a freaking reel, even for locals, then to me, watching the Xanadu stream, it tells me that you really don't have much of a standard, because a lot of those people who hop on commentary for those games, either they aren't that amazing commentating, or they're just kind of like looking lost. And I mean, like I said, I can only talk about the games that I watched. Was like Under Night, BB Tag when they had it, and there's definitely a lot of information being lost for BB Tag. But I mean, that talking about BB Tag and the issues of what's being lost in that game, that's a whole different story, because there's a lot of things not being done in BB Tag, and we're going about a year into this game, and there's still basic. The game is still like being played at the basic level by most people. But we're not going to go into that. Right? That's a whole different story. But yeah, like, I mean, there's definitely a lot of misinformation still going on. There's just a lot of things that are missed. You know, like, I mean, which again, as a local, that's fine. But for them to have you put in a commentary reel for local is what gets me really like upset, because it tells me you're not really, you have low standards if you're doing that and they're letting those people come on like that, because I don't think they're that amazing to need a commentary reel. I don't think your production is that amazing to need a commentary reel for local like that. I just don't like. I don't get it. Like, it's like you want commentary, but if you're not letting those people who don't have locals, or excuse me, not locals, reels come on, like, I don't know what you expect. Like, you're already pushing away the people that are already there to play, and if they can't get on to get experience, well, you're not going to have anyone to commentate top 4 or top 8, which is all they usually show on Xanadu anyway. So I mean, I don't know what they expect.
I really do hope that it's not a case of what EJ is saying and the people that is getting on that commentary feel entitled, because
Yeah, they're not that.
Because my thing is, if you take what you're doing in Zan, right, you make a reel and you submit that to a major, and there's going to be a reason why these people are not put on commentary at majors, you know, that's going to either it should make you feel some type of way, because it's like, okay, my commentary is good here, but it's not good anywhere else.
You
know what I mean?
just hit. I don't mean to interject, but you just hit what I was trying to say, or exactly what I said, like on the head with a specific situation that I'm remembering.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to name call, so I won't even go into details. But
Nah, name
Let,
call.
let's
pick
just
people
say
up.
someone got rejected for Evo, and with their Xanadu commentary clip, and they fucking wrote a whole entire book about it because they were getting pissy.
You know what the
On
crazy
Twitter.
part about that is you can go ahead and do that. Guess what? Evo can hire whoever the fuck they want to. So it's like, I mean, I understand that, you know, you're passionate about something or whatever, but if an organization doesn't want your shit, it's on the organization. It's they own it. Like, you know what I mean? That's like me applying for a job at Pizza Hut and then being like, yeah, you know, we're not gonna hire you, and then me going around shitting on Pizza Hut because I didn't get hired. They didn't want me. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I'm sorry. Like, you know, it is what it is, man. Find somewhere else. Go somewhere else. You don't need to be there. You know? Especially like Evo, I kind of feel like even established commentators, if they highlighted or made a commentary reel and submitted it to Evo and they didn't get accepted, there should be nothing to be upset about because it's supposed to be our equivalent to like the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? You know how many commentators are in the NFL that don't get to commentate the Super Bowl? Like, you can't get salty about that. It's a Super Bowl.
I definitely remember someone got salty because
Right.
they didn't get into the Evo commentary reel, or they didn't get the job to do Evo commentary. I think last year or the year before, and I'm just kind of like in my head, I'm like, why? Like, you don't commentate the games that you signed up for. Like, you don't
Do you know what that tells
commentate
me?
in ours.
What that tells me is I feel like that individual is not necessarily salty that they didn't get accepted for a reel, but they're probably salty because somebody that they didn't think was as good got accepted.
Oh, you know what? I'll actually
it's
call out the
it's
person.
gotta
Feel entitled.
it's gotta be one of those situations.
Which is
you
still
know what I mean?
entitlement.
I'll actually call out the person because I think I actually talked to him about it. Because it's Zerk from our region.
Mhm.
Yeah, we know
because
the young homie Zerk. Shout out to Spencer.
yeah,
Hall.
so because he was definitely a little tight that he didn't get picked for the Evo commentary reel, and like I think I saw him either like after or sometime before Evo, and I'm just like, why are you mad? Because you don't commentate any of our games up here at Versus. So like I don't know like what you're doing outside of the other when I see
Right.
Zerk on commentary, it's usually because they need someone to fill in. And Zerk's like, well, I commentate this game, kind of, or I play this game a little bit, so he'll hop on. But like when I think of like Guilty Gear, or I think about like Blaze Blue, or some game that isn't Smash or Pokken, I don't. My first thought isn't to think about putting Zerk on commentary. It's a
Right.
bunch of other people that I know who either play the game or commentate, or can at least commentate a match competent enough to kind of carry it until someone else gets back on, or until someone comes back. He was kind of tight about that. I'm just like, well, I mean, that's not my fault. Like, you don't like when I see you at locals, which is like almost never at Versus, you don't commentate anything.
Right.
Like we always have something going on. Like, I don't see you come up for Street Fighter to commentate, even if it's like 7 or 8 people. You don't come up to commentate Street Fighter. When we have monthlies, you don't come up to commentate Under Night or Blaze Blue. And then when I do see you come up for those times, I usually see it because we have a monthly going, or we have a weekly going, and those are the only times I ever see you come up for Versus. He's like, yeah, but I do all this traveling. I'm like, well, you got to make a decision. Like, do you want to travel more, or do you want to commentate more? Like, I don't understand the problem right now, because right now, like, like I'll see you here and you're talking and you're doing all the stuff, but you're not commentating.
Yeah,
And you're not doing it on a weekly basis. You're not, when we have weeklies or when we have monthlies, you're not here every monthly trying to commentate. You're not actively playing these games. So like when I look at you and you're on commentary, I'm asking myself, like, why are you on commentary? Because you don't play this game. If you do, you don't play it enough to make me believe you can commentate the game enough to say what's going on.
Right.
So I was like, I don't understand why you're getting mad that you didn't get accepted, because you're not my first thought when I think about whatever game you're commentating that isn't Smash and Pokken. He's like trying to get away from those two games, and I'm just like, like, everyone knows you from those games, so obviously, yeah, they're going to look at you and say, hey, you're the Pokken guy. I know you from commentating Smash. Not, I know you from commentating Guilty Gear, because you don't play those games or you don't commentate.
And the funny thing about it is like, we knew Zerk beforehand. I always thought that the dude was kind of an enigma, because like I never really saw him playing games. It was more so he was around games, and then I know he got into like cosplay for a little bit and all that. But it was funny because when EJ brought up the Smash cipher for Ultimate when it came up, and Zerk had a verse on there, and like I was like telling him, I was like, yo, he came from fighting games, right? Like, he had no clue. Like, they know him, like the Smash people know him for like Smash now.
Yeah.
But like that dude, he's there now, I guess, because it was easier for him to get in there than
I know he was
here.
definitely. I know at one point he was actually showing me about like some Pokemon cipher, some Smash cipher, like maybe like 2 years back. So he was kind of like somewhat dabbling in that.
And it already,
region
right,
already.
right.
Yeah. So I guess that makes a little more sense now seeing that, yeah, hearing this.
But like, yeah, we've known that dude for like a while now, and it's like, yeah, he just pops up randomly in the Smash Cipher. It's like, all right, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't get butthurt over people that you feel aren't either on your level or are competent. Like, why can't we be happy for one another? You know, the only case I could see somebody make for themselves as far as not getting a commentary gig when somebody else does is that you're being legitimate about it and you want to represent for the community. Like, if you're big on whatever game it was or whatever and you really want to represent for your community, I can understand that. But if it's just trying to get on the mic or trying to get on, like, you know what I mean, the cameras or whatever, that's kind of clout chasing.
So one I gotta interject here real quick. I clicked that link that EJ put in the chat.
Is that the cipher?
Yes.
The-
Yes, it is. Oh, I put it right on Zerk's
Hold
part.
on, do we,
Does-
so hold on.
I put it on Zerk's part so everybody
does
can
Zerk have
reference.
grills on?
Yes.
It's like, no, let's. It's not,
Yes.
it's
I
Yes, he
don't
does.
care about the cipher. I
So,
just needed to know that.
So he
was,
clicked that joint and got
listen,
sick.
Listen. So you know when we were kids, right? We wanted and we wanted to have.
Stop!
Nah, listen.
All right,
Come
no,
on, man.
no.
Let me finish, man. Let me get my rocks off. Damn. So you know when we was kids, right? And you know we really wanted to have grills, but you know we didn't have no job or nothing, so we couldn't buy grills. So you know you would take the sandwich you
The
got for
bubble
lunch
gum.
out the foil, and you put the foil on your teeth. I'm pretty sure that's what he did.
I'm getting so
Like,
sick over here.
I swear he did that. Tell me that's not foil. You zoom in? You
Let me
zoom in?
zoom
on it?
in.
I think it's foil, bro. He doesn't have a grill. See, you're laughing. I'm telling you,
He
man.
definitely does
That
not
shit
have
is-
a grill.
That shit is foil, man.
He definitely doesn't have a grill.
Swear
I can tell you.
foil,
I just
man.
saw Zerk Friday.
he only
Man
brings
doesn't
them
have
out
a
for
grill.
special occasions.
Oh,
Like
my
a Smash
God.
Life.
Yo, how did this turn into a Zerk roast, man?
I was still
Oh
dying
my
at the
God.
I lost my shit at the at the Spencer
Spencer Ross? Yeah. That shit was fire, man. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bro. You should commentate like that.
Goodness.
You should commentate with the claw and all, bro.
That joint came on and said Spencer Ross.
Yeah, big ass sword and the wave dreads. You know, that's what's up. Bring it back. Bring back Spencer off, yo. We miss him. Yo. Do we have? Damn, that was a long ass segment, bro. Do we have any other points on commentary we don't want to get at? It's such like we can have.
That's a big. That's a
Right.
that's a podcast in its own. Like
We got-
part 1 and part 2 out here,
Two
man.
podcasts
Yeah, we
on
could
just
definitely hit this next
commentary,
time.
bro.
I mean, it'll probably be
Yeah,
just
we
the
could
ball.
definitely dabble back in. I'll tell you what I'll do, yo. I'll end this segment for now. I think I have a reliable way to do call-ins that I can experiment with on Sunday this week. And if it works, we can actually have people call in with their opinions on commentary, and we can build off of this because it is such a broad and big segment. Like it's a huge and it's an integral part of competitive, not just fighting games, but competitive gaming, competition in general. Like there's commentary for everything, dog. Like even fucking high school football games commentary. You know, so I don't know. We can get back to it. We can definitely get back to it.
Even the Marble Olympics have commentary. I was trying not to smile, bro. I should link that.
Please don't, man. I'm mad I watched that, though. There's an actual Marble Olympics.
Yes,
For
it
those of
is.
you that didn't know, man. It's crazy. Yo.
It's crazy. They actually put money on it too.
So I've got two. Damn, dog. We got about. Fuck. All right, so we got about 15, 20 minutes left until the weekend rollout. I've got two topics that I think are actually really big. I'll read them off to you. So one of them is easily accessible games versus skill based. So that's one of the topics I had. And another topic I had was DLC infrastructure.
Hold on, is this for this week?
This is for this week's segment.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
That might have.
dude. So listen, these are so the four.
You know how big those topics are?
I know. The four segments I had for this week's podcast, I had commentary at the top, and I had easily accessible games versus skill based. I had pre-patch tournament change format and DLC infrastructure. So it's like we can
you might have to save one of them.
I'm about to say, yeah. I'm definitely going to have to save one of them because this shit is probably going to take up the remainder of the podcast, like talking about one of these. But it's like, do we want to get into easily accessible games versus skill based, or do we want to get into DLC infrastructure? Because if we get into DLC infrastructure, I've got a fucking fat ass rant to do about that.
I feel like the DLC infrastructure is probably going to be less to talk about than the easy game, the other, because that's a whole different category that we all can go on about, and that can literally just take. That's gonna bleed to like the next podcast.
I feel you. So I'll save that for next time. So we'll put that one on the back burner. I've got a couple of sources for that because I already had that topic on my mind anyway, and then there were a couple of tweets and stuff that came out over the course of the weekend that reinforced my thought process behind it. So we can definitely get back to that. So anyway, we'll go into DLC infrastructure. So, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but for like the course of like the past 3 years, it's been about 3 years. It's starting to really get bad now. Developers, and this isn't just fighting games. Like this extends into like shooters. It extends into like mobile games, MOBAs, so on and so forth. These developers think it's really cool to sit there and make us as consumers. Well, not make us. They're giving us an option. We're choosing to go through with it, but they're giving us the option to spend full retail price on games that are incomplete and then charging us to finish them. That is a thing. I want to say shout outs to Street Fighter 5.
Yep.
I want to say shout outs to Anthem. I want to say what other game? I know there was like a shout outs to Fallout.
Battlefront.
That shit still doesn't fucking work. Yep. You know what I mean?
Is it
I can understand Fortnite and all that because it's free to play, so you can just play it.
I mean, Fortnite at first wasn't even a battle royale game. It was definitely
forever.
Yeah, but like, I can let those games slide. I can let PUBG slide. I can let Fortnite slide because they're free to play. But I can't let Street Fighter 5 slide.
That's the biggest offender.
The original Division slide. I cannot let Anthem slide because they're charging $60 for like AAA title games and giving you like $30 worth of game that's not even patched or finished, and then it's like to finish the game, to actually fix it so that it's finished properly, you have to spend another $20 on the fucking season pass or some DLC. That's crazy. That's absolutely ludicrous. Like, you should be going to jail for some shit like that. Like, honestly, you should be getting incarcerated for it. Part of the problem is us, because us as consumers, we should be able to see that, and we need to be a lot more intelligent with our purchases, and not support it in the first place, because if we didn't, they would shut this shit down. But the reason why it's becoming more and more prevalent now is because people are falling for it, and they're doing it, like, over and over again. One example I could use of a company that did it right, and they actually did it right on exceptional levels, and this is one of the few things that I can say positive about this fucking game, and that's BB Tag.
Yeah,
they came out with a game that had a base roster, and before the game was released, they let us know that there were going to be X amount of DLC characters added to it that were more than likely on the disc or whatever. We're not going to have an argument on this DLC. They've been arguing about that shit for over the past decade. Like, it's been a long time arguing about on this DLC. That's a whole other topic.
You know who did on this DLC wrong though?
Cross-Tekken.
There you go.
They did it quite a few times.
I mean, yeah, but that's the biggest one. That's the biggest offender.
Because in Marvel, there was on this DLC too. They did it twice. But so not only did they let us know beforehand that we're gonna get X amount of characters added on, the game was discounted. If you got the game by itself without buying the season pass for the extra characters, the game was $50, $49.99. But granted, on top of that, if you bought the game through Amazon or certain other services, you could get the game for actually $39.99. So you're getting a game that's missing, like they were to say, 20 characters. That's missing 20 characters that are considered to be DLC. There's a base roster for $40. So that's $20 cheaper than your average game. If you spend your extra $20 on the season pass, that makes it $59.99, the price of a regular AAA title, and you get everything. So that was probably the best business model. I don't think any of us can complain if we went to the store tonight and bought Anthem for $30 the way it is, and then eventually they're like, yeah, we're actually redoing the game. We're gonna have more NPC characters. We're gonna ramp the graphics up a little bit. We're gonna have like 30 extra missions, new guns, and all that for $30 more. We'd be fine with that, because now it's like, okay, cool, we're getting a complete Anthem experience that we were promised for $60. Not, let's charge you $60 now for a game that's not even complete, and then let's charge you another $60 for this DLC that's going to complete the game, and let's charge you another $30 3 months down the road for some more guns and missions. Like, that's the way they're doing it. Like, it's fucked up. Like, it's actually fucked up, man. I couldn't believe, like, Street Fighter V was the worst for that.
Yeah, that definitely.
Why were we playing an alpha build of a game for 3 years? Well,
I'm glad
years,
I paid 30 bucks
years.
for that game.
Like, the game now, like the whole gold version or whatever they're doing, the arcade edition, that's Street Fighter V. That's the launch.
Yeah, I actually don't feel bad for anyone who pays $60 for that game.
I got that shit for free.
I got it for $30.
Yeah, I got that shit for free, bro. I think Nick got it for free too.
What did I get for free?
Street
Street Fighter 5.
I got a copy for free. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I have it on 2 different platforms.
If you paid for that at launch and you bought all that fucking DLC up until now, you need to be slapped. Like, there's something wrong with you.
And the worst thing is people defended that crap too.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Because you know what else is kind of like hysteric like that? Dead or Alive. Like, their DLC campaign got insane, bro.
Yo, let me tell you, man.
Bro.
I love DOA 5 and DOA 6, but I'm not spending one lick of a damn money to buy any of that costume stuff, man. Like, and then the worst part is, from what people are telling me, for DOA 6, you can't buy that stuff separate. You have to buy the season. Like, you have to buy the season pass for the costumes.
Yes.
And you can't buy Phase 4 or Neo Tengu separate. You have to buy them in the season pass.
Yes.
I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah,
like,
I heard about that.
I'm actually legit upset, because I actually wanted to play Phase 4 in this version to try her out again.
Yeah.
I'm not buying that season pass. Are you crazy?
That is such a bad business practice. Like,
Yeah.
I can understand from I can't say not a marketing standpoint, but from a business aspect, I can understand it, because they're trying to make their bread. I can understand it from a business aspect. But like, every other side of that is extremely fucked up for the consumer. Like, extremely. Like, give us fucking options. I remember the day and age where, like, yeah, you came out with your season passes and your costume packs or whatever, but there was always an option to just buy the character by themselves for a set amount of money. You're still making your money on that. You can even, like, have it cost a few more cents. Like, you can upscale, you can upcharge for that just for the character. But now you're forcing us to buy all of your content.
To add to that, I remember someone put actually a really good analogy, or not really analogy, but put it in good sense of how it should work, or at least kind of like work in that way, because I think it was specifically about BB, where in CP, you had the choice of buying Kagura, which you could unlock him through story mode.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's people who either don't have the time or don't want to go through story mode. So generally, what they would do, they would just go and buy the character.
Yeah.
But you have that option to unlock the character if you want to go through story mode. Like, you're not forced
Right.
to buy a bunch of other junk. You can just literally go and buy that character because you want to play that character, or you don't want to go through story mode. You can just go on the store and buy that character and then play the character. Whereas opposed now, it's like you don't even have the option to unlock the character in game or buy the character separate. You have to buy the season pass.
And that's like, I'm not gonna say funny, but props
It's-
to ASW.
like, I
for their
have to-
business
I-
practices.
I have to spend $30 for a character.
That's fucking ridiculous. Because even
Wild.
Susanoo, you can unlock him through the story mode or
Yeah.
buy him day one.
Yeah, you have the
That was
choice.
the thing. But like, the way these other ones are forcing all that other content on us, that's absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous.
like,
It's
fuck
really
that,
funny. It's really funny y'all mentioned that, because SF5 does the whole fight money thing, and I was like, okay, cool. So you don't have to buy the DLC. You don't have to physically buy it, and then the grind for fight money is almost impossible.
Yo, let me actually
didn't-
Literally
let
almost
me,
impossible.
They
let me
didn't
add
even fix
more.
that shit until like what, 3 years after the game has been out.
Let me add more light to
Basically.
this, because I remember back. I don't remember if you guys ever paid attention or remember, but back when Street Fighter V was still in alpha build, as in like alpha zeta build. They talking about, you buy the collector's edition, you get your fight money, you get the little extra Zenny money that they originally planned for Street Fighter. And once the Zenny money wasn't going to work out the way they thought it would. They took that option away, but all the people who bought the collector's edition, now they had a voucher for the Zenny money they couldn't do anything about. You know what Capcom did? They said, well, not give you anything for it.
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
Too bad.
Yeah.
So you know, now Fight Money is the main, you know, source of income for that game,
Oh,
and
man.
you know, you don't get nearly as much playing
As
Fight,
you
you know,
can
getting
get
Fight
in.
Money online. That means you have to suffer with the bad online to get the Fight Money, which is
Yeah, I was
like
about to
only
say that.
like you only get like 50
You
Fight
literally
Money
have
for
to
winning.
play night and day.
Yeah.
That
To buy
fucking
one
torture.
character.
One character,
One.
or you know, everything is extremely overpriced, and I was like, yo,
Right.
this is the exact thing I thought was going to happen before the game dropped, because they were like, yo, you know, well, you don't have to buy, you don't have to spend real money to buy these characters. Like, okay, so that means that they're going to be extremely overpriced, and you're going to get extremely low income coming back from that, trying to get, you know, trying to grind out Fight Money. So now it's like I like to amuse myself. I'm at work when Capcom ever does any like updates on their Capcom Fighters account, because they'll promote all these costumes and all these characters coming out, right, in all these stages. But then you go through the comments and people are just like, yo, but like, how am I gonna get what Fight Money? Like, I can't do anything with Fight Money. Yeah, they don't expect you to do it with Fight Money now. They want you to pay because you don't make enough through Fight Money, and the options that they have you go through to get the Fight Money, they're not solid options. So I don't know if, like, I don't know how much you guys really pay attention or delve into that bit, but they added the whole thing to gain more Fight Money, right? But here's the catch: you gotta spend Fight Money to get Fight Money, or to get like one of those special costumes, right? So they'll have those events where you got to get pieces to get the costume. You just got to beat the character, or the AI character, right? Yeah, you got to spend Fight Money to be able to do that battle, to get that piece. Or if it's like a like some soldier that they want you to do for like to gain gold, you got to spend Fight Money to fight that soldier to get gold.
You know what that
So that-
reminds me of? I think this is just like a fucked up Capcom thing. It's like the dumbass hat from Devil May Cry. Why do I gotta spend orbs to do damage?
You know, I actually have not used that hat because I don't have the orb yet, to use it yet.
I respect that.
I was like, I want to get everything else first before I start actually spending
I
orbs
legit
and money.
unlocked the hat, and I was just like, I'm never gonna use this. Like, what?
It's a mind trick, right? It's a mind game. So they say you can spend this fake money that you obtain in the game, or you can spend your real
real
money
money.
IRL,
Yeah.
right? So you're like, screw that, I ain't gonna spend my hard-earned dollars. You know, I'm about to just play this game. I'm about to do that anyway. And you play the game and you realize how hard of a grind it is, and and then you say, you know what?
I'm just gonna buy it.
I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Mind game.
That's the catch.
It's really messed up.
Oh
It's
my
battle
god!
fun.
That's how they get you, man.
Yo, somebody was a fucking genius, bro. This dude, he literally came into the round table, yo. They had a business meeting, yo. He was like, yo, son. He said, check this out. My man slammed the table. He said, hey, we gonna do this Fight Money, right? We gonna make it seem like they could just unlock all the shit we trying to give them for free, right? But when they realize they gotta like legit lose their soul to get it, they just gonna pay for it anyway.
Terrible.
Yo, let's go, man.
He said, Tom, you're a genius.
Yeah, this dude, man. Yeah, they probably popped the fuck off when he said
He probably gave that
shit,
dude a
dog.
raise.
Yeah. They probably threw their coffee in the air in their Danishes. They said, "Oh,
Nigga, Danishes, bro.
Oh my god, that was probably a really funny ass meeting, dog. And like that little time frame, that little 15-minute conversation they had, equates to almost 4 years of stroking people out of cash. That's crazy.
So they made millions off of DLC alone.
That's fucking crazy. Now, granted, there are some games that actually do the process right.
Monster
like-
Hunter is one of them.
I can't comment on it. I don't play that. But
Free
anyway,
updates. Every update's free.
so
all DLC 's free.
the way they
not
do
the big update.
so the way they do Call of Duty now, right? Like Black Ops 4, they add new content all the time. There's new guns, new camos, so on and so forth. But they have the tier progression system where when you play multiplayer or Blackout or Zombies, like you play any mode that's in the game, you get points that translate from your performance to your tier. And as you unlock tiers, you unlock that content for free. Whereas if you want to use those weapons day one, you can still buy them with COD points or with your real money. But the grind to actually unlock the weapon isn't as bad if you're just playing the game. It actually works. Like, you know what I mean? There's no real wheel to it, you know, and that's how paid DLC should be. Like microtransactions. That's the right way to go about it. Not forcing me into a rat trap that's like, all right, this trap is so fucked up that, you know what, I'm just going to open my wallet and give you my money anyway. I'm already paying these people, man. Why do I got to pay you guys to get tortured to pay you some more? That's crazy. That's video game slavery, bro. That's legit video game slavery.
Oh my goodness.
You can't tell me, dog. So you know what I'm gonna need now from Capcom? I'm gonna need from Capcom, EA, these developers. I'm gonna need my reparations, bro. I'm gonna need my video game reparations for all the sorrows and times that I went through. Ubisoft, The Division, banning people because they glitched their game. I'm gonna need reparations for
when
that.
it was glitched from the start.
Why am I getting punished for your fuck up? They were banned. Yo, you can't. Yo, so
That's wild.
Yo, let me tell you about The Division, right? They launched the game and they like fucked up their loot system online. So when you played in the Dark Zone, the multiplayer mode with friends, and you unlock loot, there was a glitch that would multiply it. So you could get like epics and like legendaries, like just like popcorn. It was just happening, right? And this was something involuntary. Like, you didn't really have to make it. Sometimes it just happened. You know what I mean? It was a feature. It was a feature in the game. And you know what they did? So they let that go on for a month. And then
They just banned everyone.
when they realized it was a problem, everybody that did it got banned. They banned them. They banned them. Like, what? Are you fucking kidding
That's
me?
like you getting banned in BB tag for doing the fucking plank glitch.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, fucking active change.
They say you're banned. Yeah, you're
It's
cheating.
You're being cheap. Yeah, you're banned. Ban hammer.
So you're done.
It's
You're
crazy.
done.
It's just a fucking feature, man.
It's literally a feature.
They banned her. So I can't believe there are people out there that spent money on Division 2. Like, I know people that went through the same struggles. Like, I got banned. I got banned from the first Division. Chuck got banned. Chuck's playing Division 2 right now. I can't believe he spent money on that bullshit.
Well, he also
I really-
bought Anthem, so
I really was interested in the Division, but then like I got some of the other FGC players that were playing it down here during the time. They're just like, nah, don't do it. They're like, don't do it. I was like,
it was one of those things where it was better as a concept. It was executed not that well. It was one of those things.
are we not going to talk about Battlefront on this whole topic? Because I think that's the number one messed up game out of all of them.
I'm gonna be real with you, dog. I dodged that whole wave because off the rip, I don't fuck with Star Wars. But it's also an EA title. They're kind of like the con artist masters, yo. Fucking EA.
Yep.
You got more insight on the Battlefront thing. I just remember it blowing up and everybody being really pissed off at Battlefront. I remember that. I don't remember diving any further into it. Like, all I got out of it was people were pissed off at Battlefront. I thought it was because the game was trash. Apparently that wasn't the case. It was microtransactions or some shit. Like in the
Okay,
game.
let me
That game was
TLDR for you. Let me TLDR for you, right? So you buy the game base, right? Everybody was excited. They bought the game. You know, they're playing it, having fun, and then they realized to play the characters they wanted to play, or to play certain levels, or just like different items. Everything was unlocked or locked behind a paywall, and to unlock it, you had to buy microtransactions. Every single part of it. So the whole game, on top of the $60 game, was about like 180 to get everything.
Holy shit.
180,
Yo.
maybe a little more, because they dropped new DLC.
These dudes might be the best. Like, I actually might be in love with EA, bro. That is, yo. So that same nut that worked at Capcom happened to work at EA.
Yes.
And he basically, like, he got off. He took break at Capcom. He had 2 meetings in one morning, right?
Yep.
And he basically crossed the street to the EA offices. I don't know how the fuck he got from Japan to America so fast, but he just did it. He just walked, nigga. He teleported. But anyway, he goes in there and he's like, yeah, I just had a really successful meeting at my other job. This is not a conflict of interest at all, but I got a proposal for you guys. Not only are we going to sell these people a game that's worth $20 base price, but for all the rest of this shit, we're going to make them pay for that shit, dog. We're going to make them pay for it, dog. Oh, my God.
They spill coffee on their data dishes too.
And the thing is like, yeah, they were like, nah, they didn't do that. Like, when they did that, when he said that, the room got quiet for like 30 seconds. Everybody grabbed their computer monitors and chucked it out the fucking window. They were like, yeah, you're done. You're gold here. You're the president, CEO. It's crazy, man. Because the thing about it is when people realized that, it was already too late because they already paid for the fucking game. They already made their money. And there are people out there that I'm sure are diehard Star Wars fans that are like, well, I guess I have to buy my character. And just went through it and suffered. You know what I mean? So it's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose. Like, if you've already given a company your money, you've already lost. That's why, look, yo, we live in 2019, everybody. Y'all need to do your research, bro. Don't let these companies do this shit to y'all no more. Like, it's not right. It is not right.
Let me look at my games over there. Hold on.
Do your research.
I don't got nothing with the paywall over there.
Bro, I'm looking at my shit right now. I've even got a title over here that has an EA stamp on it. No paywall. You know what I mean? Do your research. Do your fucking research, man. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at my shit. I don't even think my games even have microtransactions in them like that. Outside of like maybe COD.
Yeah, I was gonna say COD.
But I downloaded that and you can just unlock it through the tier system. It's not forced.
Most of my games are single player games, so
yeah, that's how a lot of my library is now too.
Single player or RPG games, like I don't have time for they take too like Final Fantasy already takes up most of my time that I don't need more taking up time and money. And I'm on break from Final Fantasy anyway, so
I'm good on that shit, bro.
But I mean, you know, like I don't go into the MOG station and buy anything because most of that stuff is overpriced anyway.
Hell overpriced.
And it's like I don't need this $20 mount when I got this other godlike mount that I just did from completing a raid. It looks way better.
Because a lot of the content eventually down the line is like either given to you or it's easily obtainable in Final Fantasy 14. So it's like I both hate. I like it and hate it at the same time. Yeah. It's really stupid.
It's a love-hate relationship.
But I don't know. Final Fantasy 14 is a whole other conversation. I don't think I can ever come back to that shit. I'm good. Like they've actually got.
I mean,
what they could get out of me.
If they don't do something with Shadowbringers, I don't know, man, because it's just so stale now.
It's looking like the same. Stale. It's looking like the same bullshit.
Nothing shit. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see how much they change this battle system because they keep saying it's a big change. I'm like, all right, well,
is it though?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it really going to be?
Because they did that shit with Stormblood, and it's like, all right, they can't be the pull for every fucking expansion now. They're
made it worse.
Yeah, we're gonna revamp the battle system. We're not gonna do that every time. Can we focus on the problems with the game? The battle system's not the main problem anymore.
Everything's the same now.
We got a class system where 90% of the classes is fucking DPS. Like that's the problem.
Yeah,
like,
good shit on Dancer being ranged DPS, right?
I'm actually kind of sick about that still.
Good shit on Dancer being ranged DPS when about all of your fan base thought it was gonna be a healer class because we actually need more tanking healers, not more DPS.
Need more healers. Like healer is like the most under. We only got what 3 healing classes? You got Summoner, White Mage, and fucking Astrologian. That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Like,
shit, you got more tanks than that.
And we still need more tanks.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's the sad thing. We still need more tanks.
DPS jobs, man.
You know, some of those DPS jobs honestly should be either brought into a new class, a support class like bards and dancers.
I was about to say, yeah, they should be
that's what they are. They're not DPS. They're support.
They're not supposed to be.
Yeah, like, they're support classes.
In 11, it wasn't like that. For both dancer and for it was bard, bard ranger in 11, but they were support because they debuff.
Yeah,
that's what they were supposed to do.
Classes.
But now it's like not only do they buff debuff, but they also deal a fuck ton of damage.
But the main problem why they don't do that is because the end game they don't buff debuff isn't such a huge thing. That's why. I'm pretty sure that's possible. That's probably the main reason why they're not like a support class or they're stuck as a DPS class because they don't do the job they're supposed to do. They kind of do, but not really.
Like when I think about all the time I had playing 11 and I compare it to like what I did in 14, that game was fucking ass. Like I'm mad I spent as much time as I did in that bullshit.
At this point, literally at this point, 14 is my screenshot photogenic release with G-Pose.
I respect that, I guess.
Like G-Pose got so much of a buff over the past few updates that like that you could literally play that game just to take photos anywhere in that spot.
That's what's up. As long as you can feel like your $14.99 is validated, man. Bro.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I definitely didn't feel like I was getting my money's worth, so I had to pull the plug.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I had to pull the fucking plug, yo.
So that being said, would you guys be okay with like DLC being announced with a game, like from the get-go?
I'm never okay with DLC being announced. Put that
before
shit in the game.
release though. That's the main piece.
Before,
I-
no,
I'm
never.
not,
That's even worse.
I'm not cool
Yeah.
with that because it's like, why are we already thinking about the future? That has me skeptical because now it's like, all right, you're already thinking about how you can grab our money down the road and trying to get us excited for something that's not even fucking out yet. We don't have the game. Can we focus on that first? Like one
know
thing
who
at
else-
a time. You're multitasking.
You know who else did really good on this concept? I think it was Borderlands 2. Either 1 or 2, because I mean Borderlands. Well, I played bits of 2, then I kind of like gave up on it because it wasn't as good as 1. But 1 as a game, before you add DLC, that game is complete. There's a lot of crap to do in that game. There's a new
Right.
game plus in that game, and if you added DLC in that game, I mean it just added more to what was already there in the game.
I'm at 2019 New Game Plus is fucking DLC, dog. Cause like even like not even to bash the game, even Spider-Man New Game Plus was a fucking update.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I swear to God,
Wow.
that's
Whoa.
fucking crazy. Why is
Whoa.
Son? We used to like, oh my God, yo,
This
that
is
was a
that's
standard.
standard.
Yeah,
That's
it was a
standard.
standard in games, yo.
You know what games do have New Game Plus? Dark Souls, Neo, Sekiro. Those games have New Game Pluses.
I mean, I kind of feel like if they didn't have anything after you beat the game in those games, I'd be kind of salty because you got to go through so much torment just to beat them. It's like they need to have something at the end of the rainbow. You know what I mean? Because that's literally what it is. It's literally the St. Patrick's Day. It's late St. Patrick's Day where you sit there and you go through the entire game. You get to the end of the rainbow and it's just fucking grass.
It's
Like,
like,
you
what
know,
is this? What I signed up for?
It's a rock. It's like, damn, bro. Like, what was the point of doing all this shit? Just to beat it, I guess. Just to get here. That's wild. That's wild. But yeah, I think pre-announced DLC is whack. It's whack as fuck.
It's
Don't
never
do
worked
that.
out.
Like, don't do that.
It's
And
quick
and
backlash.
there's a way to go about it, right? Like if you're announcing what your DLC plans are beforehand, that's wrong. But like in the case of like how BB Tag was when they're like, yeah, there are gonna be 20 DLC fighters and we had no fucking clue who the fuck they were. That I could kind of let that fly. That's cool. But at the same time, there's a part of me that doesn't like it either. Like I hate where the trend in fighting games now is they announce a patch or they announce a new game or whatever, and then we get the fucking 7 silhouettes with question marks. Like, you know what I mean? I'm done with that shit. If you really want to market your fucking DLC, bro,
I agree.
stop giving us bullshit characters. Give us what we want and show us that they're coming. Make us excited, because then we will spend the money.
You know, it's funny because we come from the arcade era, right? Where we didn't know if they were like we knew there was hidden characters, but we didn't know who the hidden characters were.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't get silhouettes. They were just like, yo, they're just time release. Like you come from Tekken, you get time release characters.
Yes.
If you didn't know the code to unlock them in the arcade cab, you just had to fucking wait till the time release them. So, you know, like in that case, it's a lot different because we're not really expecting new characters, or we already know they're coming, but we don't know who it is. But you got the rest of the whole damn cast in the game to play, that by the time the time release characters come out, it just adds, you know, it breathes a breath of fresh air
into the game.
Whereas
Yeah.
in DLC, it's like, all right, so you're telling me before the game drops, I'm getting DLC, and I don't know who I'm getting, and I gotta wait, and I gotta pay for this too, on top of the game that I'm already playing. Street Fighter again doing what is not great, with the whole DLC and, you know, doing silhouette, and it's just like, yo, like I'm paying $20 to guess who I might be getting. I'm probably not going to play any of those characters, but I got to pay you $20 to sit here and figure out who this lineup is. And it's not hype anymore. Like it's not hype.
Expanding on what you're saying, Greg, you like being a competitor, right? You're kind of forced to not really care who those characters are, if that makes sense. Because you need those characters to actually practice against or train against, or whatever the case may be, to have them in training mode, put them in scenarios that you're getting blown up with, you know, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter who they are at that point. You need to have a 100% console. Like if you are a competitor taking your system across states or whatever the case may be, you just want to be, if like I'm saying, if you're into this, if you're not, whatever, you know, like I play DBFZ very casually, and I don't even have everybody, but I'm not taking my system anywhere. You know what I mean? I play who I play.
Totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. But when you're looking at it from a grander scale, you're talking about your casuals, which is the most vocal out of the whole, you know, player base. Like the hardcore gamers, you like, you know, the pro players, they're easy grabs because, like you just said, they're going to get it.
Yeah,
you have to. You have
Yeah,
to
bro.
get them. But I mean, you're looking at your casual base, who are the ones who are pretty much the most loudest and screaming about DLC and one of these characters. Like they see the characters, see the silhouettes, they're like, all right, well, who are these characters? Like I gotta pay $20 to possibly get a character that I want. Like I want this character in, but none of these characters that are in the lineup or in the silhouette lineup look like my character. So right now I'm skeptical if I want to spend $20 on 4 to 5 characters I'm not going to ever play. I'm not going to train against them because I'm not going to a tournament. So it's like, well, where are you getting my $20? Like, why am I paying $20 to
That
sit
shit
here and play guest fighter?
is literally the biggest gamble.
I understand
It's
both
literally-
sides.
It's
I was just-
literally,
Yeah, so like,
Looking
I'm
out
just
there.
throwing the
Gotcha.
devil's advocate there.
it's
Yeah,
literally
gotcha.
gambling,
Yeah.
Because for instance, I can attest for the last season of Street Fighter V that came out, everybody was looking forward to fucking Sagat, and that character did not get announced until August. So there are people that legit either did not fuck with Street Fighter V or fucked with Street Fighter V for that period of time. What is that? 8 months. 8 months out of a 12-month year to wait for Sagat.
He
know
was
what I mean?
trash.
And, yeah, and see that's the thing.
Aw,
It's like
I
you
wouldn't
you
say
sit
that.
there and spend the money. You spend the money, right? And then you have to play a guessing game for 8 months for a character to be fucking doo doo. That's crazy. I'm these developers.
yeah,
are
mind
gonna-
you,
they're
you're a
getting-
pro-
they're
mind you,
getting
you're a
my
pro
feelings
player
right
at
now,
this.
bro.
You're a
They're-
pro player at this. You're waiting 8 months. And you're trying to
Yeah,
come back to place the God. Like, how do you
My
think
boy-
Bonchen had to feel?
If I have
Man?
to see Li Joe
Yeah,
get hyped for
Bonch.
one more false ass character, bro, I swear to God. I swear.
You know how hyped Joe was for that announcement? My man almost fainted.
And
Like,
where's he
And
at
you
now?
see how happy he was when he saw Urian at CEO?
I remember that. That motherfucker almost broke the joint.
Yeah.
He almost broke the ring, dog. That's crazy, yo.
at least he was
crazy.
good.
And I respect that. He's definitely a meta character, bro. But some of these other ones that people was really waiting for. You remember how many people was waiting for Sakura? How many
She
people
is
how
fine.
many people were playing her, man?
He was bad.
That's crazy, yo. I remember Alex Myers, bro. He was like, once they put my girl in the game, it's over, dog. I still don't see
Well,
this
what's,
thing.
what's
Where is
doing
he?
now? He's playing Cammy and Sakura. But
Yeah,
Cammy.
good shit. Oh,
Where's
my God.
where is he? Where is he?
These developers are like raising my fucking sodium level, dog. I can't tolerate it. Like, I legit can't tolerate it, though. Oh my God.
Shout outs to everything else that Capcom does besides fucking SF. They actually.
I
do
mean,
it
they
right.
actually did really good last year for like a presentation wise, like revealing all the characters after we didn't ask for the past 2 seasons to reveal the characters from the get go.
Right.
I mean, they learned from that. I mean, season 3 actually wasn't bad. Like from a marketing standpoint, from Capcom, it just took like 4 seasons
Yeah, to get it
for them
right.
to understand,
Yeah.
and then they went backwards again.
Yep. Because this season is definitely a question mark. There were a lot of salty people after final round ended, which
I don't know why.
I don't understand that because final round they've never really announced anything there, so it's whatever. But
Yeah,
I guess-
the last time they announced something at final round was for Ultra.
I think
That's
it's
when
one
they
of those things.
that's when they actually, I think the Capri debuted.
Oh
at
yeah,
Final
yeah,
Round.
you're right. You're right.
And people were
I
mad.
remember that.
That was
Hey,
long
people were
ago.
mad
People
at
were
that.
so
Yeah.
mad.
People were
Yeah.
pissed. People walked out. They were just like,
I remember
Capcom
that.
hurt.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, Capcom hit the Dino dog, just like fine, starve.
Yep, because
They had enough.
everybody
They
was
had
like,
enough,
"Oh, this
yeah.
is a clone character." Nope.
Yeah, it was like none of this.
Said fine, starve.
The Capri was dope though. I actually really like that
Yeah.
character.
There was better dogs they could have chose outside the Capri. We know why they chose the Capri, but there was definitely better choices.
I agree with that 100%.
That shit was a cash grab.
I definitely don't. I think the Capri was by like she's cool, but like she was like the most least thought character I was really into out of the DLC characters that came in Ultra.
That shit was a cash grab, yo.
It was definitely a cash grab because all those characters got ported over from Cross Second, and then they just redid Cammy, gave her some small differences, and there you go.
That is so lazy, bro. Like I said, every game but SF in Capcom's division is doing perfectly fine.
I don't
Yeah, because
know.
they're actually trying.
I don't know about all that, though. We're about to have the Master Crash.
You want to talk about the RE team, the
Nah,
Monster
listen,
Hunter
listen,
team,
Listen.
the Devil May Cry team?
We about to
I
have
mean,
the
I'm just
Master
saying.
Crash rendition of a review for DMC5. And
All right.
I'm gonna make
Did you
some
finish
people-
it?
No, I'm like
Oh.
mission 14.
You like midway then.
Son, it is nah, because it's 20 missions, right?
Yeah, you're like midway near the end.
60%. It is such a struggle to finish that dumbass game, man.
Are you serious?
Because every time I start playing it, I get mad at something else, and I just like I don't want to play this.
He didn't like V's Origins.
I mean,
No, it's not that I didn't like it. I predicted it.
Yeah, we all saw
it
that.
was
We
like,
all saw
yeah,
that
it was like mad obvious. I said that shit before the game came out, and
Yeah,
they showed the
we all saw
character.
that.
They were
said that's
like,
Virgil later.
they were like, V. I was like, yeah, I already know what this is about.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that character.
It's
honestly
not
kinda
all right.
played the
Look, Jacob. It's not the combat system that's the problem. That's what I have a problem with. The problem I have with the game is that the story is fucking pointless. Another problem I have with the game is the camera angles. I've always had a problem with the camera angles. Like they're bad.
They're
They
pretty
can
bad
get-
in this
They
game.
can get
sometimes. Like,
really
it's
fucking
really
bad,
in this
dude.
game.
Like it's like aesthetic things. Anytime I complain about a game, it's not like me hating on the game. It's like true shit, like stuff actually wrong with it. You know what I mean? Because I give every game I play a chance. Like I'll do that. I at least give it a chance. And I'm a Devil May Cry fan, so it's like, you know. But I said it on Twitter, I think yesterday. I was like, I think social media ruined this game for me. Because it was like one of
Devil May
those
Cry?
things where like everybody was hyping it up and talking about it and everything. So it was like I felt like I gotta say, not overwhelmed, but it was kind of like swamped to play it. And now that it's kind of dying down, the social media buzz, I'm actually getting a chance to play the game and enjoy it for myself. And I'm running into these issues like as I'm going through it. Like, you know, it's whatever. It's not a terrible game, but I have issues with it. Like there are things that people honestly shilled for the game that they're trying to disguise over underlying issues. There are issues with it. There are definitely issues. And it's really sad that they improved the camera angles and they're still ass.
I mean, at least you don't have to go through freaking door by door now. That was a huge improvement.
That's true. Can we complain about the fact that I've had to like literally play the same mission 30 times?
Yeah, they make you.
Yeah, fuck my
Fucking
years.
no. Listen. Fucking Capcom, man. Why do I gotta like? It like so. Capcom was famous for doing 10 missions that are refreshed, and then the last 10 missions you backtracked. Like there were like 5 Capcom games that did that shit. And
I
now
mean,
in this game,
I hate 4.
instead of backtracking, they have you play a third of the game, and then you replay that third of a game with each character. That's fucking dumb.
Yeah, you
like-
gotta play the other side now.
It's so stupid. I hate when games do that. Like, oh, this is why I
You
this
talking
is why I
about the
haven't-
merging?
This is why I
How they
haven't.
merge?
This is why I haven't beat it yet. Yeah, that's
Or not
fucking-
merge, diverge.
Yeah, like yeah, it's like nah, it's fucking dumb. Like I'm not even making excuses for it. It's stupid. Don't do that. Like if you're a game developer, don't do that shit, dog.
I think didn't Resident Evil do that?
Yes,
they-
every Capcom game does that. Even Mega Man fucking does it. Where you get to the end, you have to fight every fucking boss again.
Boss rush.
You gotta do a boss rush. Guess what? Devil May Cry does the same thing. Mission 19 is a fucking boss rush.
Yeah, it's like don't worry, Devil May Cry 5 has it too, in a sense.
Oh my god.
Get ready.
Yeah, but it's with one of the characters instead.
It's
of
not the character you want to do it with.
I told him.
I know
this
you did
before.
tell me, and I got salty. I was like, I'm probably never gonna beat this game.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
I was like I like V at first, and then the more I started playing, I'm
I
like
hate
I'm
that
kind of tired of this character now. It's kind of boring.
I hated him the moment I played him. I was like, wow, I could just sit back. This is.
They should have did
Yeah,
with
it's
V.
really
They should have
stupid.
made him play like a Chaos Legion character.
Yeah, I cannot stand that fucking character. He could disappear for all I care. Spoilers. Like,
Just give me Virgil, man.
it's crazy. He was
Oh, it's
supposed to be
coming.
playing
You already
Vir-
know what's
yeah,
coming.
Yeah,
I
they're gonna
know.
come out with
I
special
know.
edition. You're gonna be
I
able to
know.
play as Virgil. They're gonna come out with special edition EX Plus where you can play as Lady and Trish. Then they're gonna come out with special edition EX Thrust Super Sex Stylish edition. You can play as fucking what's the bitch name in the trailer joint?
I'm trying to
Nico.
play as Morrison. What y'all talking about?
Oh nah, that nigga dead. Yeah.
What? No,
Yeah,
he's
he
not.
died, he
What?
died. Nah, he died.
All right, you need to stop.
I got the director's cut. He died. All right, so we definitely went over like 15 minutes, but it was an entertaining 15 minutes. I can say that, yo. Any last words? Weekend rollout. Is anybody doing anything special this weekend?
No.
Nobody. Damn, I guess I'm the only one. I get to go to New York and see my girls.
I wish I could
This
go
is
with you, man.
Great, man. You can.
You
can't,
gonna pay
it's
for
not-
my flight and my ticket?
Nigga, you better.
Exactly.
You got a job.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. You
Yeah,
better
my
take a- you better take a
yeah. So
train,
my
bro.
job ain't balling, all
You
right.
better take a train, man.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go to the
You
Perfect
better,
concert
you better,
next year.
you better fucking Greyhound your ass up there.
It's not bowling. I think the total trip for me, right? I can't speak for you because you live down in the boonies.
Exactly.
But for me, I think the entire experience is like was maybe like $100, $110.
Yeah, that's great when you right there in Maryland. I'm not Maryland no more.
Hey, look, man, that sounds like you problems.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said maybe next year.
See, that's the
you,
thing.
you coming back to Maryland
The
next
last
year?
time,
Nah.
the last time
Oh,
I
never
said
mind then.
that about perfume, bro, that was 3 years ago.
That's
was
fine.
like,
I
yo,
mean, I'm going to Japan. I just see perfume in the street.
they already did
Wrong.
it there. They already had that part of the tour.
I didn't say the tour. I said on the street.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that. You're gonna get there. You're gonna be like, oh, perfume, and it's gonna be like some random Asian chicks.
Oh my
Like, man,
goodness.
that's messed up. Yo.
Shit,
Like,
It's like that
I
Family
didn't,
Guy.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, he said, oh, perfume.
He said, "Hey, perfume."
It's gonna be
Hey,
people
look,
that
there's
aren't even,
perfume.
it's gonna be people that aren't even fucking
it's fucking
Japanese. It's gonna be
sign.
like a Chinese group or something. It's like,
It's
come
gonna be
on,
a
bro.
sign with perfume stroked out, and it's just gonna say cologne.
He
Like,
said, "Perfume."
he said, "Oh man, you sound just alike."
Yo, Bum's birthday bash is this weekend. Bum is doing his little birthday party tournament.
Yeah.
NCR is going on.
Jacob got banned.
Oh, SCR is this weekend.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
it is. I forgot.
That's-
Coma was like, "I'm trying to go."
That
Yeah,
shit's
he
about
was
to be a
definitely like, I'm
blow.
trying to go. I'm like, okay.
I
go.
could have an entire podcast segment on Coma.
Tickets should be up this
Yeah.
weekend
Yeah, you actually
for
should.
Avengers.
For Avengers? You're lying.
Should
Should be.
should.
Dog, they're gonna be up. What? April 1st is Monday, right?
Yes.
It is.
They're gonna be up on Monday. I guarantee it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Give me
Avengers
Saturday,
tickets
please. I
are
need
gonna
them.
be up on Monday.
I need them.
If y'all are excited about Endgame, you should probably scoop those motherfuckers immediately because it's gonna sell out. It's going to.
We can sit on the exit like they did in Dragon Ball. That shit was hilarious.
I'm not that pressed to see no film, dog. I refuse to sit on the ground. That is a fucking fire hazard, man.
Son, it smelled like bus ass in that place.
Anyway, all right. So from all of us here at Crash the Net, dog, you can definitely follow us all on our various socials. You got mine right down there at the bottom of your screen there. Master Crash MD on Twitter. We also have Hermit_Ernest for young EJ. And then we have Mecha Shin Oni for Greg. And then we also have Nick T Stone for Nick. You can follow all of us here at Crash the Net on Twitter for not just gaming related things. We actually do a lot of wild stuff on Twitter. Maybe you shouldn't follow us, but definitely look into it. Definitely more content to come with next week's podcast. It seems like a lot of them get really bottom heavy, so I've got to do my job and start organizing it better or something. But I also think I have a way to actively do call-ins, so we actually might be able to do call-ins next week. I'll probably have it figured out by Monday, and if that's the case, I'll start advertising it on Monday night. So we'll see where we go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and roll out. Well, no, I'm not even gonna do that. It doesn't fucking work anyway. My outro's broken.
Yeah, it keeps-
yeah, like
keeps messing up.
my outro's broken. Like,
That's in your whole face.
yeah, I got it. Oh,
Yeah, covered his ass. That's messed up.
from all of us here at Crash the Net, I'm Master Crash MD with my co-host. We will see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. EST. Be there or be square.